Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
Thursday afternoon in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and we got Major League Baseball for you today. Miller Park, the roof is closed up, but the rain has subsided for now. We got some good tailgating going right now. A little sweet corn, flipping those burgers. Good day to get it started. Jesus Aguilar had a pinch hit two-run homer last night. He is in the lineup today, a lineup shakeup for the Milwaukee Brewers this afternoon for Craig Counsell. The Brewers coming to play 2.5 back of the Chicago Cubs, ready to take on division rival St. Louis in the final game of this series. Hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park. Great to have you with us this afternoon. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. We'll hear from Sophia Minard in just a moment. Well, the Brewers lost last night, so they're even in this series. They're looking for their first series win since they won a series against the Phillies. That was nearly 3 weeks ago. Offense has been struggling, Rock, and that means Craig Counsell has a lineup shakeup.
Yeah, that's the only thing a manager can do. I mean, he can't go up there and get hits, but, you know, Eric Thames, one guy on his homestand that has been pretty good. I mean, last 6 games, I mean, when you're highlighting a guy hitting about 270, you know the offense has been really struggling, but he's got a couple of home runs. OPS very good, and his on-base percentage throughout the season has been good, a 371 on-base percentage. So what do you want to do if you're Craig Counsell? You get a guy like that at the top of the order. He's going to be batting in the leadoff spot today. The first time this year, only the second time in the big leagues for Eric Thames. He's actually batting the #1 spot. No Ryan Braun, that doesn't help, especially when your team's not scoring a lot of runs. So Aguilar is going to be in the #3 spot. You hope that the Brewers are going to get something going offensive. They are due to explode on somebody.
And they need a win today to win the series and keep pace with the front-running Chicago Cubs. The other news of the day, Matt Garza comes off the disabled list. He'll get the start against Michael Wacha. Sophia has the Garza return story as we continue to march our way to first pitch here on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. By Cupie and Abraham, voted best, rated best. Cupie and Abraham, tell them you mean business. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Milwaukee wrapping up a 6-game homestand here at Miller Park. We've got day baseball coming up for you. The series finale between the Brewers and the Cardinals coming up in just a few minutes. Good afternoon, everyone. Sophia Minert here at Miller Park, and the Brewers are trying to take their first series here at home against the Cardinals since all the way back in 2012. The Brewers have won a series earlier this season against the Cardinals, and tonight they're sending Matt Garza to the mound. It's been an injury-plagued season for him, but Garza has been able to bounce back from a number of injuries. He opened up the season on the 10-day disabled list with a right groin, had a chest contusion that put him on the disabled list in June, and most recently it was the right calf strain, something that he did between starts in Philadelphia and in Washington, D.C. So Garza coming off the 10-day disabled list, the corresponding move, Wei Chong Wong going back down to AAA. And Garza has been consistent despite the injuries. You see what he's been able to do since June 30th, the 2.11 earned run average, the strikeout to walk ratio, good as well at 12-9, and Garza has gone 1-1. So Garza will even continue to be consistent coming off of his most recent injury with the right calf strain. The Brewers will be facing Michael Wacha on the mound as well as they look to take this series from the Cardinals. Wacha over his last 6. The Brewers have had some success against him, so they're looking to continue that here this afternoon. When we come back, we'll have first pitch for you here at Miller Park. The Brewers look to get to Michael Wacha early, keep their first running success alive. We've got first pitch coming up for you next with Brian Anderson and Bill Schroeder.
Oh, it's been a fun series, the Brewers and the Cardinals. They have split the first 2 games. Now Matt Garza is back. Returning from the disabled list, he's on the mound today for the rubber game of this 3-game series. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. 76 degrees outside Miller Park. The roof is closed. Had some rain showers come through here early. Big thunderstorms, actually. And we might see that roof open up at some point. Looks like a nice day outside right now. A lot of tailgating going on as a big crowd continues to file in here at Miller Park. Potawatomi batting order for the Redbirds. Colton Wong back in the leadoff spot for the second consecutive day. Tommy Pham hit second. Then Matt Carpenter, who missed yesterday's game with a hip injury, he's back in hitting third. In the middle for Mike Matheny, it's Jed Jerko, Yadier Molina, and Jose Martinez. And then Piscotty, Garcia, and Waka round out the starting 9 for the Cardinals that will match up against Matt Garza.
Yeah, Garza making his 16th start of the year. He's got that 383 earned run average. Hasn't been pitching too bad. 56 punch outs, 82 in the third innings. He's been on the disabled list 3 different times this year, making start number 16 career against St. Louis. He's currently 6-5. Let's check out the Brewers Menards defense behind Garza today. Got Thames out in left. No Ryan Braun in the starting lineup. Broxton in center. Santana in right. Shaw, Arcia, Perez, and Aguilar on the right side. So Perez, Aguilar get starts today. And Jet Bandy behind home plate.
Tom Hallion will call the balls and strikes. The crew chief. Nobody calls them like he does. Mark Rippinger, Chad Whitson, and Vic Carapazza are the base umpires. All the pieces in place. Matt Garza ready to go. Colton Wong leads off, and the first pitch in there for a strike, and away we go. Brewers won the opener of this series 3-2 on Tuesday. Jimmy Nelson got the win. Corey Knebel with his 19th save. And then last night the Cardinals held on to win 5-4. Brewers actually had a nice little comeback in the game last night. They were down 5-1, and the Cardinals would hold on. Big move by Mike Matheny, bringing on Trevor Rosenthal, who got the final 4 outs and closed it down, his 7th save. Luke Weaver beat Brent Suter last night. So it's been a good series. These two teams are trying to fight their way back toward the top of the standings, with the Cubs leading the way. Right now the Brewers are 2.5 back of the Chicago Cubs. Cardinals are 4.5 back. Cardinals are 53 and 54. Brewers are 3 games over at 56 and 53. 1-2 pitch. Colton Wong, a little half swing. He goes. They ring him up at third base. And this ball game starts with a strikeout for Matt Garza.
Yeah, Garza has a pretty good curveball so far. He's thrown a couple of them. This one a good pitch. Good location on a 1-2 count. And Wong not able to hold up. Imperative for Garza to get out of the gates pretty quickly here today. You don't want to be falling behind.
Garza missed just 1 turn in the rotation with lower leg tightness. Calf strain basically was the injury, but it was all around the calf and around to the front of the shin as well. Said it's something he probably could have pitched through, but felt like because of where the Brewers are in the standings, where they are with their starting rotation, with Chase Anderson being out, thought he'd shut it down prior to his last start, get himself fully healthy so it's not something that lingers. Was advised to do so, and here he is back. Says he's having no problems anymore, and we'll see how long he can go here today. The Brewers are hoping for a good long start out of Garza. That is not something he has been able to produce very often this year.
And last start was on July 21st, a loss to the Phillies.
Only went 5 innings in that game.
Right. He 5 innings, 1 run, but bullpen really had a bit of a meltdown. But you remember that injury the very next day. It was Michael Blazek that made a start. He got roughed up against the Nationals.
2 balls and a strike on Pham. A swing and a miss. 2-2 now. Brewers are headed on a road trip after this game, on their way to Tampa Bay to take on the Tampa Bay Rays in a 3-game series. Tampa's in contention right now in the American League East. There's a little jam shot that's going to fall for a base hit. Tommy Pham just keeps on hitting. Boy, this guy's having a big year. Came in batting .315, and he is aboard in his first at bat today.
Yeah, a little jam shot. Pretty good pitch by Garza off the inside corner. He got it down in the trademark, down more toward the handle. Actually, he just dumps it out there in the left field. So Tommy Pham is on for Matt Carpenter.
Anytime Matt Carpenter is hitting somewhere other than leadoff, it is a big story in St. Louis. He has not produced as he has as a leadoff hitter in any other spot in the batting order. It's a hard thing to figure for Carpenter. He's a very good hitter. He's always been tough on the Brewers. But for whatever reason, being out of the leadoff spot's been trouble for him.
Yeah, that's kind of a head scratcher too. He's such a good hitter. He seems so disciplined that you would think it really wouldn't matter where he hits. Kind of a down year for him. And 252 batting average, 48 RBIs.
He spent half of the year hitting third this season. This is his 45th game batting third. He's at 47 in the leadoff spot. Cardinals are without Dexter Fowler. And Colton Wong gets the call in the leadoff spot again today. Second straight day for Wong batting leadoff. Fowler is out with an injury. And this lineup for the Cardinals, they're still searching a little bit. St. Louis. Fowler's out with a left forearm strain. Yeah, Mike Matheny, very similar to Craig Counsell, trying to find some offensive consistency, and two managers, Rock, that are in contention but still tinkering with their lineups a little bit.
That's kind of crazy. I mean, the Brewers, as tough as it's been since the second half began after the All-Star break, still feel as though they're right in it. I mean, Craig Counsell, you got to feel fortunate. You know, they haven't played very well. They've been all close games. They just haven't been able to get over the hump. Offense has been the culprit for the most part. But yeah, Cardinals have to feel the same way. I mean, nobody's really out of it except for the Reds.
Counsell having a chat with Ed Cedar, outfield coach. I'm sure this is about defensive alignment against the Cardinals. With Thames in left field instead of Braun, Eric will play very deep. The fastball from Garza missed high. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Carpenter.
And you figure there's going to be a big emphasis on Keon Broxton covering that gap out in left center. He's going to have to put his track shoes on today.
Broxton shading a bit into right center. Expecting Carpenter to pull Matt Garza. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Carpenter fouls it away.
Well, took a little off that pitch, had Carpenter out in front.
3 day games today in the big leagues. The Cubs and Diamondbacks will play a day game as well. That game is being delayed by rain. Zach Greinke and Jose Quintana, the matchup in that one of the premier pitching matchups of the day. Arizona and Chicago with that rain delay at Wrigley Field. No roof on that ballpark, I guess.
Yeah, well, they thought about it back at the turn of the century, but didn't have the money for it.
Just because there's a rain delay, though, doesn't mean it's raining necessarily.
That's right.
As we have experienced.
Actually, it's probably sunny.
That was a cheap shot. I apologize, Cubs fans.
It was a good one.
Rainless delays have happened every now and then.
Apologize. It's good.
Shift is on for Carpenter. Here's the 2-strike pitch in the dirt. 2-2.
It's actually not a rip on the fans at all.
No, but I'm sure they're sick of hearing it.
They were disappointed that there wasn't a game that day.
You know what? You make a good point.
They had nothing to do with it.
I'm going to take all that back. Retracting that apology.
Good for you.
Strike it from the record. Garza in a 2-2 count with 1 away here in the first. Matt Carpenter at the plate. Tommy Pham, a stolen base threat. At first base, he was thrown out trying to steal last night. Carpenter hits one hard into right field, but right at Santana. Out number 2.
They pulled the string on Carpenter, had him out in front. He barreled it up, but really didn't have much behind it. Sinking liner out there, easy out for Santana. There it is. 81 miles an hour, and Carpenter out in front of it.
Hit it on the barrel, but had a lazy swing on it. 2 outs now. Here's Jed Jerko. Jerko with 14 homers, 52 driven in. Jerko has played a very good third base in this series. He made a number of plays yesterday. Cardinals on the left side of their infield with Jerko and DeYoung. They have saved some runs and some base runners in this series. I thought DeYoung made a key play last night, might have changed the game late in the game as the Brewers were trying to come back against St. Louis.
Made a good play in the hole, got the force out at second base.
Jerko takes a spinner in there for a strike.
Got a good curveball already. He's thrown a lot of them.
He has made the transition from a power fastball challenge pitcher to a breaking ball, work the edges, a bit of a nibbler type pitcher. As he ages and as his arm speed slows somewhat, Garza making the adjustment. In the air, right field. Playable for Santana. Fair territory. He's there. He's got it. And Garza puts up a 0 in the first inning. Off and running. Day baseball at Miller Park. Brewers Cardinals. Milwaukee coming up. Get a 1-out single from Tommy Pham, but Garza puts up a 0. Now the Brewers are coming up. And here's the batting order that will face right-hander Michael Wacha. First time in the career of Eric Thames that he'll hit in the leadoff spot. Eric Thames, Domingo Santana, Jesus Aguilar. Then it's Shaw, Perez, and Broxton. Bandy, Arcia, and Garza round out the Potawatomi Brewers batting order. And that's a lineup that will face Michael Wacha, who has emerged as one of the Cardinals' best pitchers this year. He's on a good run right now as well.
Yeah, 20th start. He's got a complete game, that 8-4 record, but you got to appeal a little further. He's 5-1 in his last 6 starts with a 181 earned run average. Last time out, a win against Arizona, 6 shutout innings. They say his fastball is back, throwing in the mid to upper 90s. Good changeup and curveball.
Brewers have never beaten Michael Wacha. He's 4-0 lifetime against him. Has made 9 appearances, 8 of those starts. Eric Thames has batted in the first position in the batting order once in his major league career. That was as a pinch hitter. That was just 1 at bat. So this is technically first time he's ever hit leadoff. And Craig Counsell citing a number of reasons why that seems like a good fit. And probably most importantly, the Counsell didn't really address was the fact that Eric Sogard and Jonathan Villar have struggled offensively lately.
Yeah, just not getting on base, not just getting hits. I mean, they haven't been, the batting averages most of those guys have been down a little bit, but just not walking and scoring runs, and that's what you expect out of your leadoff hitter.
2-2 to Thames. Very high on base percentage for Thames. There's Eric Sogard trying to find his way back after he was on fire when he first arrived to the ball club in May. Thames has an on base percentage of .371. It's pushing near .400 against right-handed pitchers this season as well. So all of those numbers, and at the end of the day, it's a manager trying for a little shakeup with his offense. Thames does bring tremendous power and the home run threat to that leadoff position. Swing and a miss. Waka strikes him out for the first out.
Add the cutter to his repertoire. That was a pretty good one. Let's check out Menard St. Louis defense. You got Martinez, Phantom, Piscotty in the outfield. Jed Jerko. You got Greg Garcia at short. It was DeYoung the first 2 games of this series. Juan Carpenter on the right. And Yadier Molina catching a day game after a night game. He says he's not tired, so he's in there.
Not only is he catching the game today, Santana swings and fouls one off of Molina. Did you notice that Molina was out earlier today? The Cardinals had catching drills. Molina was not participating in them, but he was out on the field with Mike Matheny, and they were doing some throwing drills with the other catchers. And
yeah.
Molina was right there, and he was participating in all of the activities.
So he got one in the neck, right? Well, that's a good way to start your day.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, right under the chin, and that's a wake-up call. Yeah.
It's like it popped him on the ricochet, right?
Talk about threading the needle. That catcher's mask that he wears is supposed to avoid that.
He's struggling back there a little bit. He does not look comfortable.
Ever get popped in the neck like that? That doesn't feel good.
Felt like every other day when I was growing up. Santana swings and fouls one back.
Did you get picked on, did you?
No. Just playing football, big football player.
Head-on collision.
I grew up in Texas, man. You had to play football. We didn't even wear chin straps, or we didn't have face masks or anything. We just went out there and made it happen. Back in the good old days,
Yeah.
One and two to Santana, and that one just missed. Able to check his swing. 2-2 the count. Domingo's been on a nice run. The Brewers offense as a whole is struggling, but Santana is having a pretty good run. He had a terrific July. Does have an RBI in this series. Matter of fact, it was his base hit and RBI on Tuesday night that snapped that dubious streak that was going. The Brewers had been 0 for 33 with runners in scoring position. Santana had a first inning hit and an RBI on Tuesday, and he draws the walk. So a guy that gets on a lot. Santana reaches via the walk, and a base runner for the Brew Crew here in this first inning. Jesus Aguilar earns a start today, and why not? Pinch hitting last night in a 5-2 game. He hit a monster 2-run home run. Has 10 on the year. Aguilar made it a 1-run game with one swing of the bat. It was a no-doubter.
It's been amazing to watch Aguilar throughout the year keep himself ready. The way he works and the way he has figured out how to be productive and not play every day has been fairly impressive.
Yeah, Molina is still a little shaken up here, Rock. Athletic trainers coming out, and Mike Matheny, a catcher who would be the leading expert on concussions from baseball and catching related injuries, cut Matheny's career short. Very sensitive to this, and Molina was having some trouble. You could just see it in his face. He was very uncomfortable.
Looking at his neck, maybe got something going on with the neck, maybe a little whiplash. Watch the neck snap back. Sometimes it's a little bit of a delayed reaction. Not only did he get it in the neck, but he's got some stiffness back there. You can see the head trainer taking a look at him. Can't imagine why you would keep him in the game.
Cardinals only carry 4 on their bench The backup catcher is Carson Kelly. And Molina looks like he's trying to talk his way in. Says he's good. Says I got it.
And Mike Matheny doesn't want to keep him in the game, but I mean, Yadier Molina, one of those guys that has deserved the respect of telling his manager whether he should play or not.
Says he's okay. I mean, Molina, you have to give him all the credit in the world. He has been one of the real tough guys in the big leagues behind the plate. I mean, he is as durable as there has been in the history of the game from the catching position. There have been catchers who have caught more games in single seasons or maybe a small window of time over 2 or 3 years, but the full body of work, you'd be hard pressed to find a more durable catcher than Yadier Molina throughout the history of baseball. Playing the position as well as it has ever been played throughout his career.
Without a doubt, maybe the best ever.
So he stays. Aguilar's in there. And another check on Santana. Jesus has 2 pinch hit home runs against the Cardinals. The second coming last night. He's hit 3 of his 10 home runs this season against St. Louis. Right now it's starting to feel like when Braun is out of the lineup is the only open door for Aguilar to get in. There are days if a left-handed starter is on the mound that Thames would sit and Aguilar would play. You start to wonder though, is there a lineup configuration that would include Braun and Aguilar and Thames? Council's been toying with that notion. That would put Thames in right field, and it'd have to be a day when Santana would require a day off. Santana's been one of the hottest hitters the Brewers have had, so that's not going to happen at this moment.
How about this weekend in Tampa? You might see that.
Yeah, with the designated hitter in place.
Right.
Yeah, Brewers are headed to an American League ballpark. There's a called strike 3. Tom Hallion rings him up. And when you get rung up by Tom Hallion, consider it an honor on your way back. It is the most emphatic ring up there is.
It's not bad enough you get rung up and you have to set through that. I would like to check out Tom Hallion's pregame stretching ritual.
That's right. I think that was it right there.
I mean, that's certainly oblique issues right there.
You know, he's never been on the DL though. He's just powered through it. Here's Travis Shaw. Every pitcher in the game loves to see Tom Hallion assigned as the home plate umpire, especially if you're a strikeout pitcher. Talk about a boost of confidence.
Got to wear earplugs if you're catching.
Shaw batting with 2 outs. Santana at first. Shaw's been a little bit off here lately. Speaks to his consistency all year that a little mini slump for Travis Shaw seems out of place. He's been so good. You don't see his slumps last too long. 0 for 7 in the series. Still looking for that first hit. 24 home runs is second on the ball club behind Thames. Shaw is in the top 10 in RBIs in the National League. 74 ribbies. That one's hit hard into center field, a base hit. Good looking stroke that time, and Travis Shaw extends the inning. 2-out single.
Yep, 94 with a fastball that time. Shaw able to barrel it up. He doesn't struggle for long. That pitch up out over the plate, and he hit it hard into center field.
Went out as fast as it came in.
Just had that sound to it.
First hit of the series for Shaw, and now 2 on, first and second for Hernan Perez. Brewers have been able to score in each of the first innings of the games in the series. And now Perez, a little soft liner that's on a hop. Carpenter will take it to the bag, and that will retire the side. Brewers come up empty in the first. We go to the second.
Matt Garza back to work here in the second inning. No score. Our scoops from the clubhouse brought to you by Car Soup. As of this morning, there were no starters listed for this upcoming weekend series in Tampa Bay, but Craig Counsell says that tomorrow they will make a move after the game for tomorrow's starter, and he said it would be Zach Davies on Saturday and Jimmy Nelson finishing off that series on Sunday. So we will see another move here after this game affecting tomorrow's starter.
All right, Sophia, thank you. So news on Brewers Live post-game to stay tuned for today. Curious to see who the Brewers bring up to make the start tomorrow in Tampa Bay. Matt Garza back to work facing Yadier Molina. Molina, Martinez, and Piscotty, first 3 up against the former Ray, Matt Garza. Molina took a shot on a foul ball to the chin last inning. See how he fares tonight. He had a big game offensively last night. Multi-home run game last night. Hit 2 homers, both off Brent Suter. And on the ground to second base, Perez for the first out. Hey, a reminder, today's game is on AFN. You know that if you're watching us on AFN, the American Forces Network. Now in its 75th year of broadcasting to American military personnel overseas in more than 170 countries and naval ships at sea. Welcome to those watching today. Thank you very much for your service to our country. And got a note, they are watching in Korea right now at 3 a.m. Good to hear from all of you out there. Thank you, Dave. Hope we can bring a little bit of home to all of our servicemen and women watching.
It's a big deal when they're able to, sit back and watch some baseball from back home.
Jose Martinez is at the plate, swings and fouls one back. Got a chance to see both of Rock's sons at home from military action. Billy back from Afghanistan. Great to see him. He's back in Milwaukee, and saw Perry as well. I know you're a proud papa, Rock, and happy to have those two back in your clutches.
Yeah, proud of both of them, and certainly when they're back here with us, we sleep a lot better, that's for sure.
Martinez sends one deep into center field. That is way back. Broxton is at the wall, and he makes the catch. Keon Broxton climbs the wall and pulls one back.
Well, he measured that one nicely. Never really panicked. He knew he had a shot at it. A perfectly timed leap. Not sure if it would have been a home run or not. A nice catch up against the wall. Broxton playing relatively shallow. He's measuring it right in the time it's hit. And he makes the catch. Yeah, it would have been out.
I think that was going to go out. That was on top of the line, it looked like.
Yep, perfectly timed leap. Yep, takes away a home run.
A great shot from our center field camera there. Broxton, that 6'3" frame, reaching up and pulling that one home. Fly ball into right. Routine for Santana. All right, a defensive gem. Keon Broxton strikes again. He's making this routine. Keon can fly, and he saves a home run from Garza's line. About the defense in this series and on this homestand. In the Cubs series, we saw a number of gems. Travis Shaw, Lewis Brinson had a couple of great plays. Perez ranging up against the wall. That was a big one by Brinson that saved some runs. Cut off and relay on Tuesday night. Ron to Arcia. And then Keon Broxton just a moment ago, getting more and more familiar with Miller Park, and he is making this a habit.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking about it the entire time. Ever since the beginning of the second half. I mean, the pitching's been good. The defense has been very good. They haven't really been given any extra ounces. Just the offense. You got to get the bats going.
Broxton leads off against Michael Wacha. Keon snapped an 0 for 20 in the major leagues last night. There was some time in AAA in the middle of that hitless streak, and he swung the bat very well at AAA. Meaning it won't feel like an 0 for 20 when he broke through last night. Had a double. He hit a bullet into right center field in last night's game. He can be a very streaky hitter, and the Brewers are hoping to catch Broxton on a hot streak.
Yeah, he's due for a good stretch. He lays off that high fastball. He usually is going to hit the ball hard somewhere.
And that's bounce foul. Broxton has had a really good year against St. Louis pitching. He's had 15 hits against the Cardinal pitchers this season, hitting for a .405 average, 3 home runs and 7 RBIs. Three of those 15 hits, those home runs. One of them one of the longest homers of the year in St. Louis. And he draws a walk.
Always the key for him, laying off that pitch right there. Hey, get live broadcast, scoring updates, breaking news, and more right at your fingertips with MLB.com At Bat, the official app of the Brewers. Download At Bat today, free for your smartphone or tablet.
Welcome all of you watching us today on the At Bat app, wherever you are. Great way to follow the game. Jet Bandy with a man on. Brewer catcher starting his first game of the series. Started the final game against the Cubs on Sunday. I saw Jet before the game. I told him, even though he's only made the 2 starts on this homestand, he's made a major impact in the entertainment value of our broadcast with his impression of Brent Suter yesterday during photo day. He's a really funny guy, and he did a spot-on Brent Suter impersonation. I mean, it's down to the details. It is so great. That takes work, man. That takes work to get all those little nuances.
Yeah. Got to be observant.
Even Brent Suter appreciates that. He says, I don't look like that. But in fact, he looks exactly like that.
The Rector. Man, he was going along pretty good yesterday until that 6th inning.
Yeah, it got him a 3-run inning against Suter. Jeffrey's giving up 2 of those runs, inherited runner score, but Suter's been a great story despite yesterday's final result. He has provided a huge lift to a beat up starting rotation. Bandy's got some pop in his bat. Has 6 home runs this year in limited playing time. Only 173 plate appearances. He's another guy that got sent down to AAA, and it was a brief stay because he hit well down there. That was in early July. Went down to AAA, and in 12 games he hit .310, had 2 homers and 14 RBIs in 12 games.
Man, that was a good combination, he and Pena, for a long time in the beginning of the season, and then Jet just stopped hitting. I mean, he had a long offer, and they picked up Stephen Vogt, and Bandy was sent down to the minor leagues.
Vogt still coming back from a knee injury. He's been in a rehab scenario, so I'm out on the field earlier today with athletic trainer Dan Wright. We'll get a report on those 2, Anderson and Vogt, from Sophia in just a moment. She has more. 1-2 the count. Broxton goes, and a swing and a foul by Bandy. Had a good cut.
And Walker doing a pretty good job working the edges so far today. Brewers are making him work, though. Walker has made 2 starts against the Brewers this year. He's allowed 8 earned runs in 10 innings, so the Brewers have gotten to him a bit.
Yeah, the ERA against the Brewers' career is high. It's at 4.81. Unfortunately, the Brewers have not been able to beat Walker. 4-0 lifetime in his 9 games against Milwaukee. Broxton has great speed. He's always a threat to run. Keon stole 23 last year. Has 17 stolen bases this year. Been caught 5 times. And maybe with Molina a little shaken up, might be able to take advantage. There he goes. Throw down to second base. Broxton slides out.
Or not.
Molina guns him down. The swing by Bandy was a check swing, no swing, and it'll be a ball. So Broxton is cut down.
I'll tell you what, he's still quick. Those feet are quick, getting in position to throw. Looked like Broxton slipped a bit as he made his first step. And Wong with a good tag. That front leg up in the air. That's why he was out.
Now Molina guns down another would-be base stealer. So whatever ding he had with that foul ball, he is back to his normal self right now. 2-2 the count, and Bandy takes ball 3. First-year Brewer Jet Bandy had some big league time with the Angels. Brewers and Angels traded catchers. Martin Maldonado for Jet Bandy. There's ball 4. Bandy draws the walk.
Third walk already.
Let's check in with Sophia. She's got some injury news from Chase Anderson and Stephen Vogt. What do you have, Sophia?
That's right, BA. We'll start with Chase Anderson, who's been on the disabled list since June 29th with that left oblique strain. He threw his 3rd bullpen this week here at home, and he is scheduled to throw to live hitters this weekend, possibly as soon as tomorrow in Tampa Bay. And then a look at Stephen Vogt, who continues to rehab his left knee with the sprained MCL, and he was on the field with head athletic trainer Dan Wright. He was doing a lot of agility work, worked up a good sweat, told me he continues to feel good as he continues to rehab that knee. So he continues to play catch, and now they're working on the agility with Vogt.
All right, Sophia, thanks. It's going to be an interesting roster configuration when those two come back. Chase Anderson's going to give this ball club a huge lift. I spoke to Chase on the last road trip, and you know, this oblique injury has knocked him down for what's going to be over a month, but you know, his arm is strong. They have all of these exercises and these methods to keep a starting pitcher as stretched out as possible, meaning they work the shoulder activities and isolated arm activities that don't put the strain on the injured part, which is the oblique right now. So it is going to be interesting to see what Chase will be like. He was going along as not just the ace of the Brewers staff when he was injured, but one of the better pitchers in the National League at that time. There's a shot by Arcia back up the middle and a base hit. Clean single for Orlando, and first and second with 1 out.
And it's a lot more difficult for a control pitcher like Chase Anderson, who relies on touch and feel, working the corners, changing speeds to come back after a long layoff, than a power pitcher, of course. But it will be good to get him back.
That would feel like a late season pennant race acquisition for the Brewers to get a starter the caliber of Chase Anderson. And then you start thinking about Stephen Vogt and the fact that he has been an all-star the last 2 years, a guy that has been in the postseason. Garza up there to bunt.
Yeah, a knee injury for a catcher to recover from takes a little bit longer than most positions.
By time Vogt returns, you're probably looking at, you know, maybe 2 weeks until rosters expand. So then you can carry your 3 catchers and have Vogt available off the bench, a left-handed hitter. So you can understand, and the Brewers wouldn't say this necessarily, but you know, as we watch these games, there is that sense that the Brewers are in hang-on mode until they can get their pieces back.
Yeah.
Significant pieces. And they're doing a pretty good job of that right now. And that's when you look at guys like Brent Suter, who have delivered in a big way in the absence of Chase Anderson. Garza trying to advance the runners. And he strikes out. Second out of the inning.
Yeah, Brewers doing a lot of that with their pitchers with 2 strikes. I mean, striking the bunt, pulling it back, and trying to bounce one over the infield, but that hasn't worked too well.
Eric Dames, the Brewers leadoff hitter today, is up there in a run producing situation. Powerball home run leaderboard. He is at the top. Hit number 25 yesterday. It's a key at bat for Thames. He has done a lot of things really well this year. Numbers across the board look good. OPS, the batting average, on base percentage. He's hit the 25 homers, but hitting with runners in scoring position has been very poor for Eric Thames. And he taps one right back to the mound. And that will retire the side. So Waka walks 2, gives up a hit, but doesn't allow a run. Had a big league moment before the game. A lot of kids on the field with the players, mixing up, big smiles. Great scene before the day game against the Cardinals today.
Milwaukee, the final game of the homestand. The Brewers head off to Tampa tonight, and have your fortune told by Mr. Baseball himself with the Bob Uecker 8-ball, which you can get free of charge by heading to Miller Park for the Brewers matchup with the Reds on Sunday, August 13th, courtesy of 620 WTMJ. Reserve your spot today at Brewers.com.
Big crowd on hand today. There's one of the 2 statues of Bob Uecker. This one on the inside, right behind the pillar there. That is a favorite location. I have been up there once.
Pretty steep up there.
It is, yeah, it's a hike.
Yeah.
It's fun though. Get a picture.
Not a bad seat in the house.
Except that one.
And it's always dry.
Matt Garza back to work. Greg Garcia leads off for St. Louis here in the 3rd. Cardinals have 1 hit. That was a Tommy Pham jam shot liner to left. Garza's been good. He's missed some bats. There was a deep fly ball by Martinez that looked like it was going out. Keon Broxton brought it back in. Hardest hit ball of the game for the Cardinals thus far. 8-9-1 coming up for the Redbirds against Garza. No balls, 2 strikes. Garcia getting the start at shortstop today. DeYoung, who was the National League Rookie of the Month in July, gets the day off. Had a tough day at the plate yesterday. Struck out 4 times. Did DeYoung.
Yeah, his month of August hasn't started out nearly as well as his month of July, right? DeYoung.
That's usually a cue for a manager to give a rookie a breather. He was maybe trying to force a few at-bats yesterday. He's not a guy that you figure would strike out a lot, so to have a 4 strikeout game was an alarm for Matheny. 1-2 pitch down in the dirt. Good block by Bandy.
One thing I like about Garza, when he's missing with the breaking pitch today, it's been down in the zone. He hasn't been hanging them.
2-2. Garza to Garcia. Lead man here in the Cardinal third inning. Brewers are trying to win a series for the first time in 3 weeks. Last time they won a series was against the Phillies here at Miller Park, winning games July 14th and 15th to secure that series win. Garcia pops it up. Garza had him out in front. Garcia makes the call and the catch, and one away in the third inning.
And last series victory for the Brewers was against the Yankees in New York. 2 out of 3 right before the All-Star break.
Yeah, on the road.
Right.
It's been a while. The Brewers went to Pittsburgh on the road trip, got swept, lost back-to-back series against the Phillies and the Nationals, lost a series to the Cubs coming home, and they have a chance to win the series with a victory today. They'd like to get back to winning ways and feel like there's a hot streak at some point coming. I mean, the game is cyclical that way, and the trends usually go that direction. The Brewers had a 2-8 road trip, but they're playing good baseball on this homestand. They were in every game against the Cubs. It was close, back and forth. Felt like they could have won the series against Chicago. Had a chance to even potentially sweep the series with a few different plays, different outcomes, but you know, they're just not hitting and getting those timely hits. But the fact that they are in a position and getting runners on base, you figure that seal's going to break at some point. You hope so.
Yeah.
That's one of the good news, bad news thoughts about the runners in scoring position. Note there are a ton of at bats with runners in scoring position. Brewers aren't executing well with that, but they're putting a lot of men on base.
And what happens is, you know, these guys understand that. I mean, they go up there, they have a man at second with, you know, 1 out, and they realize that they have struggled in these spots, and they pressure themselves. So if the first guy doesn't get it done, then even more pressure is put on the next guy coming up. So I'm going to take one game where, you know, they're just able to unleash with runners in scoring. Remember that one game series against the Cubs right before that New York series? I mean, they were outstanding runners in scoring position, and really that was the last time that they have been good, you know, getting that big hit.
Full count to the pitcher, Waka. Got him. Garza strikes him out. 2 outs in the inning, and for Garza, his second strikeout.
Just going with a fastball, outer half, throws it right by him.
First time through the batting order, the Cardinals go 1 for 9. Only hit was a single by Tommy Pham. Garza with 2 Ks, no walks. Back to the top of the order with 2 away. Here is Colton Wong now. And on the first pitch, Wong sends one to left. Ames is coming in. And a 1-2-3 inning for Matt Garza. He's off to a good start, returning from the DL. 3 scoreless for Garza.
last night out at brand new SunTrust Park in Atlanta. It was Tyler Flowers, this opposite field 2-run home run in the 8th off of Pedro Baez that snapped the Dodgers' 9-game winning streak and also a streak of 53 straight games playing with a lead. And it's interesting, the Dodgers, they just continue to roll. That was snapping what could have been a 10-game winning streak. And if you look at their last 47 games, the Dodgers have lost just 7 in that streak, but the Braves have accounted for 3 of those losses. So something about Tyler Flowers and the Braves that keeps getting in the Dodgers' way.
How about that? Raining wins for the Dodgers. Thank you, Sophia. By the way, there's a weather update, Rock.
Yeah. Are your windows closed?
It's raining outside.
Maybe get one of your people to close your windows in your car.
Sophia to run outside real quick and shut my sunroof. Thanks, Sophia.
You got a sunroof, huh?
I got a sunroof.
Pretty fancy.
Yeah, you know, that's the way we roll around here in Milwaukee. You gotta let the sun in.
You got the top package, didn't you?
Okay. Top package.
Premium package.
Yeah, that's right. I knew there was a better name for it. I don't like where this conversation's going right now.
Just saying.
Coming from the man of the people, Bill Schroeder.
You're the one that said that your sunroof was open. I didn't say that.
Santana leads off.
Actually, I have a sunroof.
I mean, you have a pickup truck.
Yeah, with a sunroof.
Nothing's ever been in the actual bed of the pickup truck.
Not allowed. It's got to be clean. Just my luggage. Which I forgot to bring to the ballpark today, so
that's
going to have to run back home quick.
A demerit. Michael Wacha facing Santana. Late swing. Down he goes. Domingo is out. That is the 4th strikeout for Michael Wacha.
There's that cut fastball that we've been talking about with Wacha, right off the outside corner. Good pitch. Just a little movement right at the end to get Santana out in front.
A strike to Aguilar. Wacha struck out Aguilar looking in the 1st inning. Might have got a call in off the plate. Another breaking ball. Well, that is a good sharp curveball by Michael Wacha.
Yeah, they both he and Garza have pretty good curveballs today.
Jesus Aguilar enjoying every minute in the big leagues. He has been fighting to break through. He's been at the AAA level, dominating in the Indians organization. But the Brewers were able to claim him, give him an opportunity in the major leagues, and he's made the most of it. This guy's been not just a good hitter and a good presence, fun-loving guy. He's been clutch as well off the bench, as we saw last night. Could be a very valuable piece if the Brewers do make it into the postseason this year.
Yeah, it's just such a difficult thing to do what he's figured out. I mean, not playing every day and staying sharp and being productive. That's why Craig Counsell is trying to figure out ways to get him in the lineup. You figure he's going to be in the lineup in Tampa Bay with the designated hitter in the American League.
3-2 pitch. Aguilar sends one to left. Way back it goes, and it's gone. A home run for Aguilar. His 2nd in as many days. The Brewers strike first on Aguilar's 11th and his 4th of the year against St. Louis.
Well, got a pitch up and away. It was borderline on the outside corner. He hooked it out of here. That's how strong he is. Not many guys can hit that ball out. Aguilar plenty of distance.
Aguilar gets the cool down. That red hot bat. 1-0 Brew Crew. And now Travis Shaw takes the ball.
Yeah, check it out. Cutter again, and this time he leaves it up, out over the plate, and Aguilar strong enough to hook it out of here and bangs it off that back wall. And one strong human being right there, Jesus Aguilar.
Hit 30 home runs last year in AAA, which is saying a lot. That is a rare feat at the AAA level. Their season is a month shorter than a major league season. Broken bat. Shaw out to the shortstop Garcia, and there is out number 2. .11 homers, 38 RBIs for Aguilar. He's got his batting average near 290. Done a lot of damage as a pinch hitter. And he is a very nimble first baseman as well. That's the one thing that probably shocked me more than anything in spring training. Look at a big guy like that, you figure it might be a liability, but he really moves well. He's got great hands.
Footwork around the bag, very good. Yeah, good throwing arm, very accurate. Been a nice surprise.
Hernan Perez takes a strike. Perez, like Aguilar, was another guy that his original organization liked a lot, but didn't have a spot for him. There's a shot down the right field line, over to cut it off Piscotty, and that's going to hold Perez to a single. Hit it hard. Good play by Piscotty to cut it off.
Yeah, just a great piece of hitting by Perez, and yeah, going to right field on a pitch. I don't even think it was a strike. It was up off the plate. Four-seam fastball. He just serves it down there. Able to get on top of it, line it over the head of Carpenter. Just a good approach by Hernan Perez, his first hit.
Two-out single for Perez, who drove in a run last night with a base hit. He is on for Keon Broxton. There's that big curveball again from Wacha. Oh, 2 to Keon. He walked his last time up and then was thrown out trying to steal second. Molina gunned him down. 0-2, 2 outs. Wacha will check on Perez. Broxton with 14 home runs this year. That is a new career best for him. Just arrived to the big leagues last year. He got a little time with the Pirates 2 years ago. And his first real chance as a major leaguer last season with the Brewers. There goes Perez. Pitches down and out, and Molina can't find the handle. Stolen base for Hernan Perez. Picked the right pitch to run on, didn't he?
Yeah, got a good jump. And Molina trying to make up for the good jump. He just bobbled it. You don't see him do that very often. Curveball. Good pick by Molina. Just couldn't find the handle on it. A stolen base for Perez. Now another man in scoring position.
Perez now 10 for 13 in stolen base attempts. And Broxton bounces one to Carpenter. That will retire the side. But the Brewers get on the board. Jesus Aguilar. Twice in his last 3 at-bats, he has gone deep. This time, number 11, number 4 against the Cardinals. Makes it 1-0 Brew Crew. And another trip down Bernie Slide brought to you by Quick Trip. Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Toyota. Let's go places. 1-0 Brewers. Keon Broxton took a home run away from a Cardinal, Jose Martinez. Jesus Aguilar with a home run. No one was getting that one. And in front of a big crowd on a Thursday afternoon, the Brewers lead the Cardinals 1-0. Matt Garza back to work. Garza has been terrific in his first 3 innings of games this season. He has gone the first 3 scoreless today with only 1 hit. It's the 9th time in Garza's 16 starts this year that he's held opponents scoreless through the first 3 innings. And now comes the challenge for Garza as he gets in through the 2nd time in the order to try to do the same the next 3 innings. Garza facing Tommy Pham, who has the lone hit for St. Louis. That was a single with 1 out in the first inning. A little jam shot to left that he dropped in front of Thames.
He's had a good breaking pitch. He's locating his fastball fairly well. I mean, using it effectively inside. Even with the velocity down over the years, you still are able to pitch inside as long as you have your good off-speed stuff. And today's got a good curveball.
2 balls and a strike on Pham. Swing and a miss. Good one right there.
Not a bad pitch on a 2-1 count, right? I mean, figure the hitter's looking fastball. You give him a curveball, swings at it out of the strike zone.
Knows what he wants. A couple of shakes. 2-2 the count. And he got him. Garza with a fastball strikes out Pham for the first out of the inning.
94 gave him a little extra.
A little old school Garza right there.
Off the plate. I mean, it was all set up, that pitch with the curveball in 2-1. That gets into a hitter's head. Not sure what he's getting on a 2-2 count, and Garza able to get him to chase.
1 away, and it'll be Matt Carpenter now. Flew out to right field in the first inning. Carpenter was out of the lineup yesterday. He was a late scratch from the lineup, as a matter of fact. Thought it might have been a matchup scenario, but then word came down from the Cardinals that he was having some problems with his hip, his right hip. I would imagine a hip injury or tightness in the hip would affect you in all kind of areas on the baseball field, but maybe more so at the plate than anywhere else.
Right, popping those hips open on pitches in, particularly.
Your trigger mechanism to get everything moving, right?
Well, they say it's hips then hands when you're up there at the plate, when you're attacking the baseball.
Into left field. Back is Thames. Ball still carrying, and Thames is there for the out. Now, because of the rain outside, the roof is closed. The panels are closed up as well, and it is hot and humid inside Miller Park, and you can see the ball is really jumping right now. Temperature rises in here.
Yeah. Of course, you can heat Miller Park. You cannot cool it off.
Here's Jed Jerko now. 2 outs in the inning. He's up there hacking at the first pitch. And Jerko chases one. High fly ball in the shallow right. Santana is there, and Garza keeps it rolling. A 1-2-3 inning, retiring the Cardinals in order. It's 1-0 Brewers as we go to the home fourth.
From last night at SunTrust Park, Cody Bellinger got things started early for the Dodgers. He hit his 30th home run of the season in the second inning off of Brave starter Julio Teheran, and he is the 10th National League rookie to hit 30 home runs. The last one to do it, 2007, Ryan Braun and Chris Young. And Bellinger is closing in on some rookie history. Mike Piazza has the all-time record for rookies with 35 home runs when he did it in 1993.
As a member of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Not an easy place to hit home runs either, Dodger Stadium.
How about that kid, huh?
He has been something. Between Bellinger and Aaron Judge, the 2 rookies in each league, both will have a chance and be in consideration for an MVP award if they continue on this pace.
Yeah, we got to figure Bryce Harper's in that discussion.
Nolan Arenado.
Yeah.
Bottom 4, Jed Bandy leads off for the Crew against Michael Wacha. Brewers get a run on a Jesus Aguilar home run last inning. Brewers have 4 hits off Waka. He's walked 3. They've had some traffic against him, but Aguilar delivered the first run. Bandy fouls one back. By the way, Diamondbacks and Cubs are still in a rain delay. That game was scheduled to start at 20 after 1 Central Time, so they're into their second hour now of a rain delay. Greinke and Quintana, the scheduled starters, as they await that one. They're going to be fighting and dodging thunderstorms all day down at Wrigley Field. Cubs are still home tomorrow. They'll have the Nationals coming in tomorrow. That'll be a key series of division leaders. Brewers are needing some help from the Cubs opponents. Bandy strikes out. Big cut, and down he goes. Strikeout number 5.
Well, before you ask for help from the Cubs opponents, you got to take care of your own house. Brewers got to start winning some games, getting a little bit more consistent. Yeah, the Cubs picked up a game, or I should say the Cardinals picked up a game on the Brewers yesterday. See, everybody really in it. Even the Pirates, you got to believe that the Pirates think they have a shot. Cincinnati, though, 13.5 back.
The team that finds that sustained winning streak is going to be the team that wins this division. That's the one. That's the way it always shapes up when it's a race like this. I wouldn't say any of the teams in this Central Division feel like they played great baseball by any stretch. Hasn't been bad baseball. The Brewers are a little unexpected to be here in a race this fast, and what would be the latter stages of a rebuild. They still have some pieces to assemble, but a lot of talent with this Brewers organization, and they've been able to stay in it all year.
And David Stearns kept to his commitment to thinking long term at the trading deadline. Didn't make that big deal that would send some of the top prospects for the Brewers to other organizations. Not willing to do that at this point.
There were some big names out there, but not sure there was really that major impact piece. There's no CC Sabathia of 2008 that was available. I don't think. You never know how a team's going to go with a player or who's going to catch fire, but bouncing ball back up the middle, and another base hit for Arcia. That's his second hit of the game. They have both come up the middle. He's 2 for 2.
Yeah, the first one a line drive. This one, he bounces right back into center field. They were working him for strikes away. And he waits back and able to hit it hard, barrels it up right up the middle. Yeah, so Arcia having a good day at the plate.
Hitting well over 300 since that demarcation day of May 18th for Arcia. It is a sustained period of time of success for him as we play here in early August. I'll bring Garza to the plate, trying to get a bunt down.
And really doing it in a spot in the batting order that can be a challenge for a young player. Number 8, you know, hitting in front of the pitcher. Other guys don't like it. Arcia seems to be okay with it.
Garza up there with 1 out. Takes a ball. 1-1 to Garza. Matt has 3 hits this year. It has been a breakout offensive season for Matt Garza.
Yeah.
Hitting 115. Has found his way safely on the interstate. in the right lane, just going the speed limit.
Yeah.
Trying to get a bunt down right here.
Which is the most important part of what a pitcher does up there at the plate. You don't expect hits, but what you like to see from your pitchers is to be able to advance base runners. Drop down to bunts.
Yeah, see if you can see some pitches, add to that pitch count a little bit. The game within the game. One and two now. Garcia is still at first, and Garza takes a ball, so 2-2 now. Drives pitchers crazy when they cannot put away a pitcher at the plate, especially when a pitcher is trying to bunt at the plate, trying to give you an out. Garza's done a good job taking pitches. You'll see at least 5 of them. 2-2 now. Garza squares again and bunts it sharply to first. Carpenter goes to second. Out there. Garza safe at first.
Yeah, just bunted a little bit too hard, and Matt Carpenter able to make a good play at second base. Never hesitated. And Garza hustling down the line to avoid the double play. A little bit too much on it, and a relatively easy throw for Matt Carpenter.
Garza hustling down the line, stays out of a double play. Brings up Thames. Thames. Oh, and it's caught at second by Wong. Diving catch by Colton Wong. Heck of a play. Takes a hit away from Eric Thames. Well, we've seen some terrific defense already. Good catch by Wong. And the inning is over. 1-0 Brewers after 4. On Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Pouring down rain here in Wisconsin. But we're playing ball at Miller Park because the roof is a glorious thing. And it is sealed up tight. keeping us dry inside Miller Park. And Matt Garza and the Brewers going along well right now. It is 1-0. Brewers lead it on a Jesus Aguilar home run. Garza with 4 scoreless innings. The Cardinals have just 1 hit today. A single by Tommy Pham in the first inning. That's been it against Matt Garza. Garza just had a sprint down the first baseline. It's been one of the themes this year for Garza is that after he's run the bases or been on, that next inning sometimes can give him trouble. Hopefully that's not the case here today because he's pitching one of his better games to start.
Yeah, plus the fact that he had that leg strain, right? I mean, so hopefully, you know, that sprint down the line not going to affect him too much. Hey, he's a young man, but Matt Garza's been outstanding. I mean, his big pitch today has been the curveball. He's got a very good one. Has not made any mistakes with it, and because of that curveball, the fastball has been pretty effective. And when you mix those two things up, you know, the curveball, he's throwing a couple of changeups, and that fastball in on the hands of these Cardinal hitters, it keeps them guessing up there. He has not been predictable at all.
So here we go. Garza's ready for the 5th. Yadier Molina will lead off. Molina did some damage yesterday to the Brewers with 2 home runs, 3 hits in the game. Now 12 home runs for the year. Last night Molina set a career best for total bases. Had 10 total bases in last night's game. 2 home runs and a double. It's only the 4th time in his career he has had a multi-homer game. That seems like a low number, but he's done it twice this season.
Yeah, for as long as he's been around, you would think he'd have a lot more than that, right? Got some pop in his bat when he's got the count in his favor.
He hit one. His first one was in the right center. Second home run he pulled to left, hit it up there in the Lowe's level above the Friday's front row grill.
Yep, a fastball and a curveball.
Garza's taking a little time between pitches here. He's trying to catch his breath. I mean, we've seen it a lot. You don't think much of it in a regular basis with a pitcher who runs the bases. It happens every day, but with Garza, it does seem to give him trouble. He didn't spend a lot of time on the bases, but he had a dead sprint to try to beat out a potential double play ball on that bunt. Trying to calm himself.
Pitchers do a lot more long distance running, you know, between starts than they do dead out sprints. So
remember, with everything closed up as it is very warm and humid inside Miller Park. That's a strike. Caught the edge.
Yeah, right at the bottom of the strike zone. Molina can't believe it. That one had plenty to the plate. I'm not sure if he's arguing or what he's saying to Tom Hallion.
2-2 the count. He lays off the breaking ball. I think Garza put it right where he wanted. The pitch in question.
If that's not a strike, we should all go home.
That's right. I don't think Molina gets the Ted Williams treatment just yet. Full count to Molina. He did bite on that one, fouls it away. Another payoff coming, and Garza missed. He walked him. Leadoff walk.
First of the day for Garza. Hey, it's an interleague showdown at Miller Park as the Brewers and the Twins face off. That's Wednesday, August 9th to Thursday, August 10th. That's back-to-back days. It's a home and home, you know. Remember we were talking about that yesterday?
Yep.
You weren't quite sure about
Irvin
that?
Santana.
Right, yeah. Check out the crew's complete upcoming schedule and reserve your tickets today at Brewers.com.
2 on the road in Minnesota, 2 at home against Minnesota. Totaling 4
in a row.
Which means you'll see every pitcher except for one in the rotation. We had some communication problems yesterday, Rock and I did. We've worked that out.
Is that what it was, actually?
Well, it's mostly you're communicating and me not listening.
Yeah, you're not understanding what the road schedule was coming up. It's all right.
Sometimes when you talk and I am not talking, I'm not listening.
Yeah, I know.
It's not by design. It's got a lot going on up here.
You see, what you tell me all the time is when I'm talking, somebody else is talking to you.
Did you say something, Ron?
Yeah, see?
There's the upcoming schedule. Lock that in. 5-game road trip. Brewers back home for 7. With a couple of off days as well, which will be nice.
See the 4 days in a row with the Twins?
I see that. It's all coming back to me now. Makes sense. Two balls and a strike on Jose Martinez. Target Field in Minneapolis, one of the beautiful new ballparks in the big leagues.
They play tonight in Minnesota. They play Texas.
No roof on that bad boy, so
Yeah.
I hope for some good weather 2 days in Minnesota. 2-1 the count. Garza misses outside.
Different
a lot
guy.
of pitches in this inning.
Yeah, different guy this inning. It's amazing, right?
No tempo. It can evaporate quickly for Garza, as good as he's been. Got the one he wants. He could use a ground ball here. And now Martinez steps out. Actually, that was Bandy, I think, who wanted to start over with the signals with Garza. And it's ball 4. Back-to-back walks.
Yeah, curveball and a 3-1 count. That's how much confidence he has in that pitch today.
2 on now, nobody out. Counsell has a very short leash for Matt Garza and will certainly be that way today, coming back from the disabled list as he is. Even though it was a brief trip on the DL. Had a calf strain. That's been the injury du jour for the Brewers this season. 3 different players have had calf problems this season. Guerra, Braun, and Garza. Brewers lead 1-0, but Garza has walked the first 2 hitters of this inning. Stephen Piscotty at the plate. He's just back from the DL as well, returned Tuesday. On the first pitch, foul, just foul. Piscotty was out with a groin injury. Having a down year. Burst onto the scene in 2015. He backed it up with a good year last year, but been a different player this season. Hitting just .234, 6 homers, 31 RBIs. Garza needs a double play ball out of him. Piscotty came into the league in 2015 and in 63 games did some big damage, and then did some damage in the postseason that year against the Cubs in the NLDS. Cubs won that division series that year in 4 games, but Piscotty looked like he was ready for the prime time, the bright lights of the postseason.
Yeah, consistency is so difficult to accomplish in this game,
especially when you're injured. You know, you start having some health problems. Might remember Piscotty was involved in a nasty collision in the outfield in Pittsburgh. Had a concussion.
Yeah, it's that, and it's the mental approach too. I mean, it's you know, that's what most players will tell you that is the most difficult thing about playing every day is, you know, the mental preparation, the focus on a daily basis, and it's very difficult. Only the greats are able to do it every single day. Those are the guys that are in Cooperstown.
Garza's got him in a 1-2 count, and Piscotty pops it foul.
I mean, the minor leagues are loaded with guys with incredible talent, especially when you get to AAA. But it's the guys that can come up to this level and be consistent. That's the most difficult part. I mean, everybody's going to have shades of brilliance from time to time, but you know, being consistent and staying in the major leagues, that separates the good ones from the also-rans.
2 on, nobody out. Garza deals, and Piscotty fouls another one off. Can't shake him. The pitch count is ratcheting up here for Garza. He's thrown a lot in this inning. Got into a full count with Molina. Walked him. Walked Martinez. 17 pitches already in this 5th inning, and he has not recorded an out.
And all of a sudden leaving pitches up in the strike zone. That's the key. I mean, if he early in the game, that curveball was down and, you know, out of the strike zone, a lot of times he was getting swings. You don't want to hang that curveball.
Now Bandy's on his way out. Garza keeps shaking him off. He does not like where this sequence is going.
Probably wants to go curveball at some point, but you know, either it's Garza or Bandy doesn't want to throw it. The curveball has really gotten him through the first 4 innings.
See what he lands on here. 1-2 pitch, a curveball, bounce foul. Molina started the inning with a walk. Martinez walked. Brewers set up to turn 2 if they can get one on the ground. Piscotty runs well. 1 ball 2 strikes, and he struck him out. Garza on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball with a big strikeout in the 5th inning.
Yeah, 2-seamer under the hands. Good pitch. Yeah, curveball, then the 2-seamer. Good movement going down and in. Piscotty right over the top of it. That's a nice pitch off the plate. 93 miles an hour with good movement.
1 away. Piece by piece, Garza trying to find a way out of this inning. 8th place hitter coming up, Greg Garcia. It's interesting that Mike Matheny has a pinch hitter on deck. That would be a very bold move to take Michael Wacha out of this game, having given up just 1 run through 4 innings.
Man, he's been outstanding. Last 6 starts we talked about, earned run average under 2, but there he is, pinch hitter.
Is he a wooden duck? Is he a decoy, or
Trojan horse?
Would Matheny,
who knows,
really make that move? We'll find out. Garcia with 2 on and 1 away.
Yeah, 5th inning a little bit early to be throwing somebody on deck you're not going to use, but you never know. Pitch count's pretty high for Walker. He hasn't been on the top of his game today.
Pitch count in the 80s. Walker's got his batting gloves on. I think
doesn't look to me like he thinks he's done.
One ball, one strike.
Maybe because of the heat, he just wants to have somebody out there on the on deck circle. Let Walker just sit in there.
It's possible. There's always a lot of gamesmanship going on. Get in the middle of a game, especially in a National League game. That's why it's so fun to
sit in the dugout.
You got National League baseball.
Got the fans blowing on you.
2 on, 1 away. Garza facing Garcia. 2-2 now. Two and two. Bandy sets up inside. Ground ball through. Base hit. Garcia delivers with a hit. Molina's on his way to score. And we are tied at 1.
Yeah, about 3 feet from being a double play. But Greg Garcia with 2 strikes on him, able to bounce one into center field. And pitched down and in. And he golfed it. Hit it hard into center. And well, now the Cardinals decide to let Boyd get in at bat here.
This is very interesting. Michael Wacha is out. Garcia delivers. The 8th place hitter delivers an RBI single with 1 away to tie the game at 1.
Well, just out of the reach of Perez, a little bit further to the right. It would have been a double play ball, but it's not.
So Luke Voit will pinch hit for Wacha. Derek Johnson out to the mound to talk with Matt Garza. Four innings for Wacha, gives up 1 run. It was earned. 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. That's a guy that's been one of Matheny's best pitchers here recently.
Right. 6 shutout his last time out against Arizona.
Wonder if there's more to the story than that. Although we saw Wacha with his batting gloves on, so that'll be an interesting post-game discussion. Meanwhile, Garza has runners at the corners and 1 out, and Voit takes a strike.
And Wacha not able to pick up a victory, even if the Cardinals score another run. Hadn't gone 5 innings. It's got to be one of his shortest starts this year.
One ball, 1 strike. On the ground, up the middle. Right there's Perez. He's got it. Throw to first is high, but Aguilar is there. And a double play gets Garza out of the inning. And the tall Jesus Aguilar at first base. Fortunate. Perez with a nice play on the shift. A 4-3 double play. Garza and the Brewers are out of the inning.
For our unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile, Dellin Betances last night recorded the 6th immaculate inning in Yankees history. This came after a 3+ hour rain delay at Yankee Stadium. Came in the 8th, 9 pitches, 3 strikeouts for him. The last one was not a cheap one either. It was against Miguel Cabrera. So congratulations to Betances. And Mike Trout adds to his milestones, his 20th home run of the season last night against Philadelphia. That's now 6 seasons of him with 20 or more home runs, tied for the most through his age 25 season. And Josh Donaldson, a hot bat for the Blue Jays as well, had a home run last night. Now 3 straight games for him with a home run.
All right, Sophia, good roundup from last night. The immaculate inning.
3 strikeouts and 9 pitches.
That's it. New pitcher for the Cardinals is Brett Cecil.
Yeah, one of 4 lefties out in that Cardinals bullpen. 4 left-handers, 4 right-handers for Mike Matheny. Pretty well balanced, if you will. Bullpen.
Cecil has had a rough year for St. Louis. Matheny takes his pitcher out for a pinch hitter Voit as Santana strikes out for the first out of the inning. Voit bounces into a double play to end the inning.
Hey, there's one final Free Shirt Friday coming up on Friday, August 11th, as the Brewers take on the Reds at Miller Park. The first 20,000 fans in attendance will receive a free Brew Crew Performance T-shirt courtesy of 94.5 KTI Country. For tickets and details, visit Brewers.com.
Well, 1 and gone. Here comes Jesus Aguilar, responsible for the only run on the board. He homered off Waka in the 3rd inning. And a strike to Aguilar. They have begun play in Chicago.
Stopped raining, did it?
I believe so. Top of the 1st inning, Diamondbacks and the Cubs. Quintana against Zach Greinke. They're playing under ominous looking skies, though.
Yeah, it does look pretty bad, doesn't it?
0-2 pitch. Fouled out of play. Brewers 2.5 back of the Cubs. Milwaukee is 56 and 53. The Cubs have just 1 more win, 57 wins, 4 fewer losses, however. So the schedule is going to have some settling to do at some point. Cubs got a lot more games to play than the Brewers. That could actually work in the Brewers' favor. By the way, we have a breaking news update from Wrigley Field.
Okay.
Paul Goldschmidt just hit a 3-run home run for the Diamondbacks. 1st inning lead for Arizona. There's a called strike 3, and Hallion rings up Jesus Aguilar again, and now Hallion is barking at Jesus on his way out.
I'm not sure, you know. Jesus Aguilar is walking away. This is what Craig Counsell, I mean, Aguilar's walking away and Hallion's chasing him down. I'll tell you, who's the aggressor there?
I agree. I mean, if you're walking to the dugout,
umpire chasing you down, and you see it borderline inside, rings him up.
Now, there is a little context to this as well, and that pitch could have gone either way. But Hallion rung up Aguilar in the 1st inning on a pitch that looked like a ball.
He's just walking away. I mean, he's a little disappointed. I mean, it's an at-bat, and Tom Hallion, as he's walking toward the dugout, following him and barking at him. Supposed to be the voice of reason, Tom.
Firing that mask off. Shaw, a wave and a miss. I mean, guys competing up there, they're engaged in the at-bat. He's mad. He barks a little bit, and then here we go. And Hallion just starts stalking him.
It's unacceptable. You can't do that. Player does that, he gets thrown out.
Yep. Actually, it took a lot of restraint there, I think, by Aguilar to not get himself thrown out, because Hallion was trying to make sure that was going to happen.
Well, it's Craig Counsell that's trying to be the guy that bringing peace to the whole situation.
Shaw hits one hard into right center, a base hit. It's a 2-out single for Travis Shaw. And a hit off a left-handed pitcher. 2 for 3 today for Shaw. He is on with 2 away.
And like to see him get back and get hot again. A breaking pitch. And that stayed up. It was out over the plate, and he hooks it into right field. Doesn't take him long to get back at it. A couple games maybe.
Now Hernan Perez. 1-1 game here in the bottom of the 5th. Perez pulls one through, a base hit. Back-to-back singles for the Brewers. Both Shaw and Perez now 2 for 3 today. Hernan with his 2nd single of the game.
And 1 to right, now 1 to left for Hernan Perez, and it looked like maybe a changeup that Hernan does a good job keeping it in the hitting zone a long time, just leveling out that bat, taking that top hand off. And the inning alive after back-to-back strikeouts.
2 on, 2 out for Keon Broxton. Funky looking swing right there. He tied him up with a fastball.
Maybe a little wrinkle on it going in on his hands.
Brett Cecil, former Blue Jay. Brewers with back-to-back hits with 2 outs. Cardinals just tied it with a run in the top of this inning. Now Broxton into left field, base hit. Shaw is around third. He is going to try to score, and he will score. No throw from Martinez. 3 straight hits with 2 outs. Broxton delivers the go-ahead run in the 5th.
Boy, a sight for sore eyes for Darnell Coles. Finally coming up big with a man in scoring position with 2 outs. 2 outs, nobody on, 3 consecutive singles. And you can see Broxton pulling the hands in, got it down on the trademark a little, but able to fight it off into left. Shaw running on contact, able to score easily. There you go. Back-to-back cut fastballs to Keon Broxton.
2-1 Milwaukee. They get the run right back. And now looking for more with Jet Bandy at the plate. Brewers have 8 hits now. 3 in this inning. Bandy swings and fouls it back. Be a big spot for Bandy to deliver with a big hit. Perez and Broxton on base, both very fast. Bandy pulls one foul. Just thinking about Jet Bandy. We're talking about the Diamondbacks and the Cubs today. By the way, the Diamondbacks lead 4-0 in that game. But Zach Greinke's on the mound for Arizona. And still to date, the best at-bat of the season belongs to Jet Bandy against Zach Greinke earlier this year. He's had an up and down year at the plate. But those are the kind of at-bats that you can refer back to when you're in a moment like this.
Yeah, against a pretty hot pitcher, Zach Greinke.
Battled him for 9 pitches, finally doubled off the wall with the bases loaded.
Fouled off some sliders, and Greinke gave him a fastball. He ripped it off the wall and left.
Bandy fouls it away in the seats down the right field line. So you see an at-bat like that. Bandy is a guy who is just getting his major league career going. Had some time last year with the Angels. He first got called up in 2015, but only played in 2 games. Played in just 70 games last year. Perez takes off. Bandy takes a called strike 3 to end the inning. And The side retired, but the Brewers score a run on 3 hits. Broxton delivers the RBI single with 2 outs. 2-1 Brew Crew as we head to the 6th inning.
The Brewers take a 2-1 lead here in the 6th at Miller Park. We can check out today's UW Whitewater Athletics scouting report. Down with the Biloxi Shuckers, Johnny Davis last night went 5 for 6, a home run for him as well, and 3 RBIs on the night. Over his last 12 games, he's hitting over 400 with 2 homers and 8 RBIs. The Biloxi would win that one 13-0 over the Jumbo Shrimp of Jacksonville. Probably one of the best names of all of the minor leagues, the Jumbo Shrimp.
That's tough to work a game like that, Sophia, with the Shuckers and the Shrimp. I mean, you go for some oysters and on the half shell, and then you got Jumbo Shrimp. And don't forget the Montgomery Biscuits.
Yeah, they're great names, aren't there?
Matt Garza back to work. Brewers now lead it. They are beginning the process to open the panels here at Miller Park, which will let a little of the steam out. Rain has subsided for now. That'll be a little more comfortable in here for the fans. You love that you're still playing baseball, but it does get extremely warm and soupy inside Miller Park in the summertime when the roof is closed. It's always interesting about the wind currents and how the ball travels. Everybody who has ever been a part of Miller Park has tried to figure that out and kept the stats on the variations of it. Roof open, panels open, roof open, panels closed, all the different combos. But it's tough to know exactly how the ball travels the best here.
I know it's nice on days like this. You just talked about it. It could get a little bit steamy in here, but you open up those glass panels, all of a sudden the wind, you know, kicks up. You see the flags moving around a little bit. It helps a lot.
Definitely affects the trajectory of the ball to the outfield, especially into left center. 2 balls and a strike. Colton Wong at the plate. Cardinal leadoff man up for the 3rd time. And a base hit to left. Leadoff single for Colton Wong.
Wong does a good job putting the bat on the baseball. There's a fastball up. Got a little bit too much of the plate that time. Wong didn't hit it hard. Able to dump it into left. Seen a lot of hits like that by the Cardinals in this series. Putting the ball in play.
Oliver Drake has been throwing since this inning started. So that'll be a short leash for Counsell as Garza is pitched into the 6th inning now. Probably figures to see one more hitter. You would imagine Drake is getting ready for Matt Carpenter. Counsell uses Drake, even though he's right-handed, basically as a left-handed pitcher. He's a reverse splits guy, is Drake. So he would match up against Carpenter, you would think. See if Garza can handle Pham here. He's been one of the Cardinals' best hitters all year. And he's going to send one into shallow right. Oh, what good catch by Perez. Well, he got a good break on it. It's easy to get turned around on a little flare like that, but Perez read it perfectly.
Yes, sometimes you're not sure how hard it's hit, so you overrun it at times, and it's tough to time your leap, but that was a relatively easy play. So Garza with a break, first pitch. Pham gets eaten up on the inside corner. He's grinding over this decision right here. You can see the way he's thinking about it. What do I do here? He's thinking he's got Drake up. He's thinking maybe he should go get him. Letting it ride.
It is a roll of the dice. He has not done this often with Garza. He has had the quick pull on him. But he is trusting him in a spot like this. It really boils down to the manager and his gut, right? I mean, you know, there are analytics involved in the game and the matchups and the in-game process, the numbers and what you should do here or there. But at the end of the day, at the end of the line, it's the manager having to make a decision that he feels is best on what he's seeing.
Yeah, and plus, you know, Garza's throwing the ball well. I mean, he had a little bit of a rough stretch in that 5th inning. He walked the first 2 guys. But overall, he's thrown well. So let him ride. Let him keep going.
Shift is on. 3 infielders on the right side. Aguilar holding the runner Wong, who looks like he wants to run. And now Carpenter in the air to left. Playable for Thames. 2 outs.
It doesn't seem like Carpenter has the bat speed today, does it? Maybe it is that hip giving him an issue. A couple of times he's lofted one out there.
It's a good call. Maybe that had something to do with the decision. But it works out for Counsell with Garza. And now he'll face Jerko. He's got a more favorable matchup now. Jerko's got some pop. He's hit 14 home runs this season. Twice he has outs to right field. And Garza trying to stick one inside. Misses with a fastball. The manager on the phone to the bullpen. Could be Garza's last hitter. Either retires him and the inning is over, or Jerko reaches and a pitching change would come. There's a strike. 1-1. First start for Garza since the 21st of July. Missed 1 turn through the rotation. 10-day DL with calf strain. He's held up well so far, only 3 hits.
You know, and this is a guy I don't want to leave any breaking pitches up in his zone. Garza's had success against Jerko. And currently Jerko 0 for 7 lifetime against Garza.
Two and 1. Hit hard to left field. Thames closing, can't get there. Base hit. Got a little top spin on it. And Jerko extends the inning. 1st and 3rd for the Cardinals.
Yeah, right off the end of the bat. So nothing really hit all that hard in this inning. You know, Wong got jammed. Off speed pitch. And Jerko doing a good job keeping the bat in the hitting zone, able to get enough of it, dumps it down the line for a single. It looks like Craig Counsell is going to let it ride with Garza again here.
Sure is.
Giving him a long leash today. Well, maybe not.
Here he comes. Setting up his double switch. So Garza's done. Counsell will bring on Lewis Brinson. Brinson will go into center field for Broxton. And the double switch is coming with Jacob Barnes in the 6th inning, trying to get out of this 6th inning with 2 on and 2 out. Pitching change at Miller Park. Here with runners at the corners. 2 outs in the inning. 2nd inning, Keon Broxton coming up with so far the defensive play of the game as he pulled a potential home run back, robbing Jose Martinez. Broxton using all that 6'3" frame. Badger Mutual Insurance play of the game.
Yeah, took a run away and he drove in a run. So a good day for Broxton today. As Jacob Barnes takes over, 51st appearance, a 440 earned run average. You last saw Jacob on Tuesday against the Cardinals. First game of this series, a scoreless inning.
Brinson into center field on the double switch. We'll see Brinson hit 2nd next inning. Top of the 6th. Cardinals have him at the corners with Molina at the plate. And Molina late on a Jacob Barnes fastball at 97 miles an hour. No balls and a strike on Molina.
Well, you knew he was going to be going first pitch. He had one to hit. You could see the look on his face. Fastball down, big velocity. Those are the ones to hit.
You don't figure Jerko to be running in a spot like this. Not really a threat to steal. Cardinals have good speed at 3rd and Wong. And Molina takes a ball down and away. 99 with that heater. Got Molina talking to himself. Barnes operating in a setup role for Knebel, now pitching in the 6th. And a swing and a miss on a nasty slider in the dirt.
Exactly where you want it. You don't want to leave it up with this guy. He's a good middle speed hitter. And he was swinging fastball and Barnes gave him the breaking pitch. Good location for that.
He's a tough guy to strike out, Molina, especially in situations like this.
Brewers trying to defend against the steal here. And 1-2 count. Thinking maybe Jerko might take off. Got really good speed at third, so Cardinals might try and steal a run here.
Barnes, a power right-hander. He's got Molina down 1-2. In the air, center field. Brinson almost in his tracks. Barnes does the job. Garza sees 2 runners stranded. 2-1 Milwaukee. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. If you had Italian in your racing sausage meter. 2-1 Brewers lead the St. Louis Cardinals. Don't forget, if you can't watch the games, you can catch them on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app, take Fox Sports Wisconsin and Brewers baseball with you wherever you go. Brian Anderson, Bill Schroeder, Sophia Minard, our Emmy Award-winning reporter. Today's game produced by Dan Keener, directed by Renardo Lowe. Great to have you with us today. Final game of the homestand. Brewers can make it a 3-3 homestand with a win today. Trying to win a series against the Cardinals, Rock, for the first time since 2012.
Yeah, how about that?
Arcia leads off his day at the plate, presented by Wendy's. Both hits coming right back up the middle. Clean singles to center field. And that one is into center field, but it hangs up. Tommy Pham is there for the out.
You like the approach. Right back in the center.
It's good work by Jacob Barnes, Rock, to get out of the inning with Molina coming up. Cardinals threatening to score in the 6th inning and stranding 2 inherited runners. Jacob Barnes.
Yeah, the Cardinals' hottest hitter in this series, Yadier Molina. Looks like he's going to be going out for the 7th.
Bullpen is quiet for now. Lewis Brinson batting for the first time. Came in on the double switch. Made the play to end the inning. He's had a couple of real nice catches on this homestand. 2 diving plays, both against the Cubs. That's hit sharply right at Wong. Brinson's out. 2 gone in the inning.
He's had a lot of those, hasn't he? Hard hit balls right at infielders.
And back to the top of the order in Eric Thames. First day ever in the majors hitting leadoff for Eric Thames. He is 0 for 3. Got robbed of a hit his last time up. Wong made a diving catch in the hole on him. Cecil's already given up a hit to a lefty today. Gave up a single to Shaw. Last inning, Shaw scored the go-ahead run. Brewers had 3 straight hits with 2 outs, including an RBI single by Broxton. 1 and 2 to Eric.
Been a while since we've seen that. A 2-out rally for the Brewers.
Cardinals scored to tie it in the 5th, and then the Brewers came right back in the bottom of the 5th to regain the lead. Cubs and Diamondbacks are back in a rain delay. That'll affect the starting pitching in that one. Quintana was giving it up early today for the Cubs. There's a swing and a miss, and the inning is over. Cecil retires the side in order. Those 2 innings for the Cardinals.
Over the Cardinals here in the series finale as we head to the 7th. And the Brewers' wives play an important role in the community outreach efforts with their commitment to several important causes. Each summer, the Brewers' wives team up with BCF to raise funds through a number of special events, with proceeds earmarked for various organizations in the greater Milwaukee area.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Great work by the Brewers' wives. Always appreciate their efforts in the community. Jacob Barnes returns. Rock, he'll try to give Craig Counsell an inning and a third. Got the final out of the 6th, and now he's on for the 7th. Jose Martinez leads off, and the first pitch is outside, ball 1. Martinez walked his last time up. He was robbed of a home run in the 2nd inning. Great catch by Keon Broxton, the play of the day so far. If Barnes can get through this 7th inning, Counsell is certainly well set up to finish the game with his bullpen. Well rested and set up. Shorzak, Hader, Knebel. One day leads to the next in this game. You want to do what you can to win each day. So ideally you're trying to get to the finish line in a close game like this and save some bullets perhaps. That would be the ideal scenario for tomorrow, opening up a series against the contending Rays. But you do what you have to do today to get through it. And Barnes comes out and walks Martinez on 4 pitches.
Well, the Brewers bullpen in good shape in large part because Carlos Torres was able to go 2 scoreless innings in last night's game. Only allowed a couple of walks. Didn't have to use many of his relievers. Jared Hughes finished the game for the Brewers.
Well, at this point of the game, The Brewers with a 1-run lead and their best relievers ready to pitch today. So it's their best against the Cardinals hitters right now. Stephen Piscotty with a runner at first. Cardinals have had a lot of base runners in the last 3 innings. Scored 1 but stranded 1 in the 5th inning. Double play ball to end the inning. Had 3 base runners in the 5th. Stranded 2 last inning.
Only 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position. That's not too many at bats in run scoring opportunities for St. Louis. And Brewers are 1 for 6.
Matt Garza had a stretch where he retired 11 in a row. Retired the side in order in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. He's in line for the win if the Brewers can get it to the finish line. There's a lot on this game today. It's an early August game, but there's a lot to it. Starting a road trip tomorrow. Brewers haven't won a series in 3 weeks. Going back to the Philadelphia series here at Miller Park, the first series after the All-Star break. And they haven't beaten the Cardinals in a series in 5 years. So that's a lot to put out there.
And really putting a lot of pressure is the offense on this pitching staff. A lot of low scoring games since the 2nd half began. And once again today trying to hold a 2-1 lead.
This entire homestand, these games have been just like this. 2-1 games against the Cubs. Brewers won the first one, lost the second one in 11 innings, lost 4-2 on Sunday, beat the Cardinals 3-2 Tuesday, and then lost last night 5-4. Only been 1 game separated by more than a run so far on this homestand. Right now the Brewers need a win to make it a 3-3 homestand.
And again, and that's what really hurts. I mean, that's what gets you, laying in bed, staring at the ceiling when you go home. You lose these close games like they have, low scoring games. Everybody thinks, what can I have done differently? Sometimes those are tough to stomach night after night. But the Brewers pitching staff has really risen to the occasion.
0-2 pitch. Piscotty late fouls it away. Barnes has Piscotty 0-2 in the dirt. Nice block by Jet Bandy, keeps a double play opportunity alive.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that pitch. First 5 pitches all for strikes. See if he chased, he didn't.
Brewers will have 14 of the next 21 games after today on the road. We've got a very difficult road trip. The next road trip will be following this one coming up at Colorado, at San Francisco, and then LA against the Dodgers. Did he go? Yes, he did. Unable to check it. He strikes out for the first out of the inning.
And he tried to check it. Same pitch as the one before. This one a little bit closer. Scotty tried to hold up, but first base umpire Mark Rippinger says he did not. Could have gone either way.
One gone. Here is Garcia. Delivered the only Cardinal run. Had a 1-out single in the 5th inning. Goes on a 2-strike pitch. Garcia's 1 for 2. Ground ball, chance for 2. Taylor made 4-6-3. Barnes, an inning and a third, scoreless. Brewers turn it up. And Jacob Barnes gets 4 big outs out of the bullpen. We are headed to the home 7th. It is stretch time at Miller Park. We got another great game going tonight. Summary as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Jesus Aguilar homers for the 2nd consecutive game. That put the Brewers on the board in the 3rd inning, and then the Cardinals come back, tie it up off Garza. Greg Garcia base hit, scored Molina, but the very next frame, 3 straight hits with 2 outs, including an RBI single by Keon Broxton, scoring Shaw. Brewers lead 2-1. It's been a good one here today at Miller Park in front of 40,170 fans. 2-1 the score. Brewers coming to bat, and Rock, the Cardinals have a new pitcher.
Yeah, another left-hander, the 2nd of the 4 that they have down in the bullpen. Yeah, Seagrass, his last time out, that was against the Arizona Diamondbacks. He gave up 4 runs in a 1/3 of an inning. He got hit pretty hard.
Domingo Santana will lead off. Santana, Aguilar, and Shaw. Matt Garza started for the Brewers, went 5 2/3. Jacob Barnes goes an inning and a 1/3 scoreless. Garza just surrendering the 1 earned run. Had a couple of walks and 4 strikeouts. Santana been one of the better Brewer hitters lately. Walked in the 1st. He has struck out twice since. 0-2 the count, and down he goes. Or did he foul it? He may have hit, he hit. I'm sorry, hit Molina on the follow through. That's the check on Molina there.
It's been a rough day for Yadier Molina.
Molina wears that hockey style mask that has the helmet on it, but it's not like a regular helmet a catcher would wear under a mask. It's not as much protection. Yeah, got him in the back of the head. It'll be a strikeout for Seagrass, and for the 2nd time today, the athletic training staff of the Cardinals tending to Yadier Molina.
You can see the back portion of that thing, but you can see where it gets him. Maybe the bat hit part of the area that's not covered. Rough day at the office for Yadier Molina.
He's taken 2 shots today, one to the back of the head. And early in this game, he took a shot on a foul ball to the chin, went off his chest protector and right under his chin. This was earlier in the game with Santana at the plate.
Yeah, this one gave him a pretty good jolt. They were having a difficult time moving his mouth around, and it looked as though he got a stiff neck, but he seems to be all right now.
Jesus Aguilar at the plate. Remember, Aguilar and Tom Hallion, the home plate umpire, exchanging words after Aguilar's last at bat. He has been called out on strikes twice. Took exception to the second time around, and Hallion ripped the mask off and screamed him back to the dugout.
And it was, as you mentioned, good restraint, because if Aguilar said one more thing, he'd have got thrown out, which I'm not sure is all that fair, but nobody said it's going to be fair. Tom Hallion certainly the aggressor in that situation.
Needless to say, Aguilar would probably like to get to a result early in this at bat. 1-1 pitch. Called it a strike. 1-2 the count. Kevin Segrist in his first inning. Aguilar hits it hard into right center. Long run for Pham, and he runs it down. Well, Pham can really cover some ground out there.
And Aguilar just didn't hit it. He didn't barrel it up. He got it down a little bit on the handle, and that's what kind of floated it out there and allowed Pham to run under it. Pham plays deep out there, and he's able to run this one down fairly easily out there in the gap. He was slicing away from him as he went after it.
2 outs. Here is Travis Shaw. 2 hits today for Shaw. The last one was against a left-handed pitcher. He singled and scored in the 5th inning, starting that 2-out rally for the Brewers. Shaw had been hitless in this series until today. 2 for 3 now. You can find him among National League leaders in extra base hits. Top 10 in RBIs. He's 9th with 74. 9th in homers. Top 10 in doubles. He's having a great year. Brewers player of the month the last 3 months, May, June, and July. There's a strike.
I think kind of a down homestand for him, but 2 hits today.
And down he goes. Shaw strikes out. Fires the bat in the helmet, and the inning is over. 3 up and 3 down for Segrist. We're headed to the 8th. Schwarzak on the pitch. Acquired via trade from the White Sox, and he will have the 8th. Brewers lead at 2-1. Swarzak coming off his best outing yet as a Brewer, and it's about as good as you can do it. Entered the game with a man on, and Rocky proceeded to strike out the side on Tuesday night.
Yeah, that was outstanding work. I mean, good fastball, locating it well. Yeah, low to mid 90s for Swarzak, and that slider really was a good pitch for him on Tuesday. 4th appearance as a Brewer, 45th overall between the White Sox and Milwaukee, and a .228 earned run average, far and away Swarzak's best year as a big leaguer.
Craig Counsell tightens up defensively behind Swarzak. Eric Sogard enters the game at second base, and that'll send Hernan Perez out to left field. So the 2 defensive changes with Perez and Sogard. Cardinals will go to their bench here in the 8th inning. Randall Grichuk off the bench to hit. Matheny still has 2 to use on his bench. DeYoung and Kelly, his backup catcher. So Grichuk batting in the 8th, and then to the top of the order, Wong and Pham.
There's that slider we were talking about. His last outing got a lot of mileage out of that pitch. Starts out Grichuk with a good one.
Right off the end of the bat. No balls, 2 strikes. Anthony Swarzak, 31-year-old reliever, made his major league debut against the Brewers when he was a member of the Twins back in '09. That was as a starting pitcher with the Twins. Swing and a miss. He strikes out Grichuk on 3 pitches.
Yeah, but only one of them were strikes. The first one just kept going further and further off the corner, and got Grichuk to wave at that last one. The last 4 hitters for Swarzak have struck out.
I remember on Tuesday, Swarzak entered the game with a man on in the 8th inning. Counsell brought Hader out for 1 batter and gave up a walk, and then Counsell decided to go to the mound to bring Swarzak in. So it's one thing to start a clean inning, you know, and the base is empty, your inning. That's why those 3 strikeouts were so important. Didn't give the Cardinals a chance to get off the deck in the 8th.
Right. Yeah, one of the few times that Josh Hader wasn't able to get the job done. He walked Matt Carpenter and then was taken out.
2-0 the count on Wong. Something about his delivery as well. That 94-mile-an-hour fastball seems to get by hitters. Maybe it's the threat of the breaking ball, the slider, or there's
that and a little hesitation before he gets rid of it, right?
He's got a little pause right before he gets into his release. A little bit unorthodox. A hitch right there. And a fastball misses inside.
He's got that abbreviated wind up, and then right here is when he kind of pauses, and then he comes firing to home plate. I guess the more you see him in a game, the better chance you have to get used to that. But you know, one time through the batting order,
Wong sends one deep right center, and that's off the wall. That is a huge break. That one missed being a home run by inches, and instead of a tie game, that is a long, loud double with 1 out for Colton Wong.
Yeah, hit that one right on the screws, but just didn't get it high enough. Thankfully for the Brewers. 18th double of the year for Wong, and I'll tell you off the bat, I thought that was out.
Yes.
I thought that was going into the Cardinals bullpen.
Had the sound, it had the look.
Might have had it, got it off the end of the bat just a little bit. Swarzak thinks it's out. You see his reaction. Right off the top of the wall.
Wow.
And the Brewers have a man at second, but that looked like it was going to be a tie game.
That's a gift for now. Let's see if Swarzak can strand him right there. He'll have to face Tommy Pham. Pham is 1 for 3. And Bandy gets down to block it. Tommy Pham singled his first time up. He had a little flare into left field. Garza struck him out in the 4th inning, and then he hit a jam shot pop-up to second base his last time up. Stands right on top of the plate. Cardinals are right where they want to be in their order. They have their 2 best hitters coming up here against Swarzak. Pham and Carpenter due next. Tying run at second base. In there, a strike. 2-1.
Yep, started on the inside corner. Pham saw the spin, thought it'd be away. Decided to let it go.
That pitch was kind of middle of the plate, right? And it looks like an inside corner strike on Pham. The way he stands up there, leans out over home plate. Well, that didn't miss by much, a little high, and it's 3-1 now. I would imagine as a pitcher, you don't see much room to work with on the inside corner. Kind of the opposite of a, say, an Anthony Rizzo from the other side of the plate.
Yeah, pitch on the outside corner to Pham is like down the middle to most hitters.
Bandy sets up out there, and a breaking ball on the ground right to Arcia. 2 outs in the inning as Pham is retired.
Yeah, got him to roll over on a slider on a 3-1 count. Hey, today's time of the game winner, Belmont Bar and Grill in Fort Atkinson. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, 8 a.m. to be exact, they'll get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. It's offered courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Here's Matt Carpenter now with 2 outs.
First base is open.
See how aggressive Swarzak wants to be. He's got Jerko due next. That is a much better matchup. However, if Carpenter reaches, he would represent the go-ahead run. You could make a case either way. Carpenter has been a little bit sluggish with the bat today, let's say.
Yeah, still dangerous though. I mean, you got the left-handed Carpenter up, and you got a right-hander on deck. That Swarzak slider very effective against right-handers. Straight counts are going with the hunch, going right after him here.
Carpenter missed yesterday's game with a hip injury, late scratch. He's been a little behind the fastball today. 3 fly ball outs for Carpenter. Got out ahead of one in the 1st inning, and then 2 lazy fly balls to left his next 2 times up. Those 2 at bats against Garza. And a strike. A fastball's in there. 94 from Swarzak.
I guess the rule of thumb is you never want to put the go-ahead run on base. That base hit ties it. You don't want to walk him, and then Jerko finds a gap, and then you find yourself behind.
One ball, 1 strike. Oh, a swing and a miss. That's his best fastball yet. And Carpenter comes up empty.
Yep, up in the zone, 96 miles an hour. Here it is, hit it right underneath.
Crowd is up, 40,000 plus. Swarzak trying to keep this a 2-1 game.
Throw the slider, you better make it down out of the strike zone. Don't hang it.
And Carpenter a little bit late, fouls it away, stuck with the fastball.
And fastball pretty much the same spot as the one he swung through last pitch. Starting to zero in a little bit. About a slider in the dirt here.
Pretty easy to see where Swarzak is trying to get Matt Carpenter. Everything has been up, all fastballs. Oh, a good matchup here. 1 ball, 2 strikes, tying run at second, and in the dirt it goes. Bandy,
that's a nice
an
block.
Impressive block.
That was.
It's a big man who could move a little bit.
Yeah, he spiked that by design. Swarzak didn't want to throw it for a strike. Tough pitch to block as far inside as it was, and he's able to square it up. Good job.
That gets by him. Wong goes to third, and now you open up a lot more opportunities to score if you're the Cardinals. Wild pitch, error. 2-2. Does he dare try another breaking ball? We'll see. Swarzak deals, and a swing and a high fly ball playable. Perez is over, and he's got it. Swarzak does the job. Cardinals come within inches of tying this game, but Swarzak on a breaking ball gets Carpenter and puts up a 0.
You've watched this series, or the whole homestand for that matter, all low scoring, outstanding pitching by this Brewer staff. It continues. Garza did well, and the bullpen starting to pick them up as well.
Boy, I tell you what, coming into this homestand, I mean, we've seen some outstanding pitching by both ball clubs, but especially by the Brewers. I mean, boy, a lot of close ball games, but boy, they've just picked up each other. The starters have come in and done a great job, and then the relievers has come in and picked them up. And this afternoon is no different. Boy, nice effort by Matt Garza.
Anthony Swarzak showing immediate dividends too after the trade. Just got done pitching in that top half of the 8th. We'll hear from Craig Counsell and the Brew crew. Talk about Aguilar's big bat over the last couple of days as well. Brewers Live post game presented by Ascension after the ball game.
All right, Craig and Davey, thanks. Looking forward to that. Also have an announcement on who the starting pitcher will be tomorrow. Sungwon Oh is on the mound for the Cardinals. We saw Rosenthal with a 4-out save yesterday. Oh, who has been the closer, pitching in a 2-1 deficit here at the bottom of the 8th.
Got 18 saves. He's blown a number of them. Another guy that relies on command, doesn't throw hard. Good change-up, breaking pitch.
Perez leading off. He'll be followed by, looks like, Jonathan Villar. Technically the pitcher spot due next. Villar out to pinch hit perhaps. And then Bandy to follow. 2-1 Brew Crew. Bottom of the 8th inning. Been a very good game. Very well pitched once again. Matt Garza the starter, 5 2/3 innings. Barnes went an inning and a third scoreless, and then Swarzak puts up a scoreless 8th inning. Cardinals missed tying this game by inches on that long blast in the right center. Perez out in front, and a pop up to Wong for the out. 1 away. Miller Lite, what's on tap? Brewers will announce their starter after the game. Jacob Faria is going to be on the mound for the Rays. St. Pete, we're headed there. Tropicana Field, home of the Tampa Bay Rays, and Craig Counsell was almost the Tampa Bay Rays manager. Turned that job down to stay in a front office role with the Brewers at the time. Rays hired Kevin Cash, who's still their skipper. Interleague baseball from Tampa. The Brewers will use the DH. Something's going on here with Tom Hallion. Right after that pitch, athletic trainer Dave Yeager is out. I'm not sure Hallion's not feeling well or got something in his eye. Hope it is the latter. I think that might be what it is here.
Maybe some dirt kicks up around the plate area.
Now, if Dave Yeager really wanted to throw some shade in there, he'd say, well, maybe we'll leave it in there and it'll help you with the strike zone. He wouldn't do that, though. He's just trying to help him out.
Right.
Just kidding.
Trainers in this situation neutral. They're it's the responsibility of the home team normally to take care of the umpires when there's an issue. Ebb had something in his eye, it looked like. He's all right.
Says 1 strike on VR. Scoreboard says a ball and no strikes, but our board is correct.
Been a rough day back there. Yeah, Tom Hallion and Yadier Molina. Jed Bandy has escaped any issue.
Well, he did ring up Bandy earlier in the game. The count is 0-1. 0-1. He tells the pitcher Sung-Won Oh. 0-2 now. VR pinch hitting. Brewers would love to tack on some runs here, give Corey Knebel a little insurance. 0-2 outside for a ball. Two and two. Call that the Dave Yeager influence right there, maybe.
Seeing much better these days.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Sun's out.
Paid off. 2-2 pitch. VR pulls it foul. It's good observation, Rock. The sun is out.
Yeah.
It's creating an interesting lighting inside Miller Park.
Shining through the panels above the first baseline.
Still raining, but the sun's out. You just got to find the rainbow. 2-2. VR takes one inside for ball 3. See what O has in mind here. 3-2. Right down the middle.
Yeah, had a good one to hit there. A little behind it.
On the ground, and that's fair. Nice play, Carpenter. A race to the bag. Safe at first. Johnny VR flying to first base. That was a tough chance. The throw is a little low to O, and he couldn't get his steps right.
Well, that guy was a little late getting over there, actually, along with the low throw. It looks like the Cardinals satisfied that the call was correct. Carpenter playing deep, shading the line. He gets it there quickly. That wasn't O's issue. You're right. I mean, he was there on time, but kind of stutter step because he saw the throw was going to be a little bit low. Threw him off. That's all it took for VR to be able to beat it.
Be an infield hit for VR. He needed that one. Runner at first for Jet Bandy now. Bandy 0 for 2, a couple of strikeouts. He walked his first time up. Short start for Michael Wacha today. Mike Matheny took a shot at some offense in the 5th inning and pinch hit for Wacha. And his pinch hitter bounced into a 4-3 double play to end the inning. It's one of the big moments in the game. That was Luke Voigt, who was the pinch hitter in the 5th. Keon Broxton made a home run saving catch on Jose Martinez in the 2nd inning. Also a big play in this game.
Yeah, Brewers turned 2 double plays today. Both inning enders.
Bandy fouls it back.
VR has no interest in stealing. You see a very short lead.
I was just thinking that, and he has 20 steals this year. But I believe the red light has been issued. Maybe see if Bandy can launch one out of here.
You know, if Craig Counsell didn't issue the red light, I think Yadier Molina might have done it himself.
That's right. There's a red light behind the plate always with the Cardinals.
Yep, 20 out of 27 for Jonathan VR.
Well, the Brewers do have 1 steal against Molina. He's caught one today. Perez had the successful stolen base. No balls, 2 strikes on Bandy. Arcia to follow. And a swing and a miss. Down he goes. A strikeout for the 2nd out.
Looked like a cutter that time. Started on the corner and then just kind of disappeared, and Bandy chased it.
Now maybe it'll be a running chance now with Arcia at the plate. You very rarely see hit and runs anymore in the majors, but
especially with 2 outs.
The one guy that you can do it with is Arcia. He does hit that way anyway. And a wave and a miss. Arcia kind of looked over at VR as if he thought he was running. I thought he should have been running. Let's put it that way.
That's the way it looked.
Looking ahead to the Cardinal ninth. Jerko, Molina, Martinez. 4, 5, and 6 in the Cardinal batting order. Arcia with 2 hits today and a line out to center. Looks like Jet Bandy's out of this game.
Yeah, he's Manny Pena is getting a gear on. I'm not sure what happened to him.
Bandy's on his way to the clubhouse.
He had kind of a weird swing on that last strike.
So Pena with the pitching coach Derek Johnson going through the scouting report on the next 3 hitters. Corey Knebel heating up in the bullpen. All-star closer. Arcia to the right side. Long run Wong. He's got it. Makes a play. Good play by Wong to end the inning. Stage is set. Going to have a new catcher in the game. And the all-star closer Corey Knebel is coming in to try to nail it down in a series win for the Brewers on the line. Baseball this afternoon on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Keon Broxton has had a memorable day at the ballpark. Saved a home run, drove in a run in the 5th inning with 2 outs. That at this moment is the go-ahead RBI. 2-1 Brewers. We go to the 9th inning, and here comes Corey Knebel. Another 1-run game for Knebel to try to save.
Yeah, 19 out of 24 in save opportunities. Big strikeout totals for Knebel. He's only allowed to 3 home runs. Last pitched on Tuesday against the Cardinals, the scoreless 9th inning. That included a strikeout.
Knebel's 5th consecutive save opportunity with just 1 run to work with. Manny Pena is in the game behind the plate. Bandy's out. We'll get an update on him. Brewers Live postgame. Just give you a quick look here, see if we can find out what happened to Bandy on the pitch prior to the strikeout on a foul ball. Something grabbed him there.
In back, right in lower back. You can see him right there, the reaction.
Not good. Jerko pops this one foul and out of play. And it'll be 0-2. Knebel saved the game Tuesday night. Corey made his first all-star team this year. First year as a major league closer, sitting on 19 saves on the season. And a curveball called strike 3. Jerko is down.
Well, you just love it when he's got that curveball working. The more he throws, the better that curveball gets. So striking out Jerko on 3 pitches, 2 of them curveball. This one right on the outside corner.
One gone. Jerko takes the breaking ball. Here's Molina.
He's been the hottest hitter for the Cardinals in this series.
Molina has feasted on breaking balls. And Knebel starts him with a curve, misses.
No, you can get him with hard stuff. But when he's in these situations, he's going to be looking to get that bat started early. So you throw the fastball, make sure it's up. You don't want to leave it down for him.
Brewers, they don't have a shift on necessarily for Molina, but they do have their first baseman Aguilar a mile from first base, covering the hole as best he can. 2-0 pitch. Molina late, fouls it away. He was ready for the fastball and he missed it.
He had a good one to hit too. You can get off the bag if you're Aguilar, because Molina takes a while to get to first base on a ground ball.
2 balls and a strike. Fastball missed. Now 3-1. Martinez due next. Molina's a tough out in spots like this. He flew out to center field in the 6th inning. That was Barnes who retired him, a key at bat in this game. There's the strike. 3-2 the count.
Right down the middle. You wonder why he takes it, right? And that was literally center cut right down the middle of the plate.
Full count, 1 away. Knebel deals and a ground ball through for a base hit. That is vintage Molina right there. He's been doing that his entire career.
Yep, and you're probably going to see a pinch runner. Yep, fastball down, and when that fastball's down with that velocity, it gives the hitter a bit of a chance to get a bat on it. And Molina just kind of rolls it right into the hole over there and into right field. So there's your tying run.
So Molina's out. Luke Weaver, yesterday's starting pitcher, will pinch run. He carries the tying run. Jose Martinez now. Martinez robbed of a home run by Broxton in the 2nd. And a strike, a fastball gets ahead in the count. These look like fastballs that are in dangerous positions for Corey Knebel. The Cardinals have taken the last 2.
Yeah, the ones that you know, down below the belt, you know, down around the knees, easier to get to. There it is.
Swing and a miss. Ate him up with that fastball.
Yeah, up there it's tough to hit. Much more difficult to get a bat on a pitch up in that spot.
The high heat inside corner. No balls, 2 strikes. Cardinals have the tying run at first base. Knebel deals and a swing and a foul.
Martinez has not seen the curveball yet.
And he's been late on the fastball. Such an interesting decision in a spot like this. Party says a good curveball would certainly buckle him up?
No, you don't want to leave it up. You have to spike it in the dirt. You don't have any. There's no reason why you can't. It's an 0-2 count. Just don't leave it up. Does he have confidence to put it down in the dirt? That's the question.
Pena sets up inside. Wants one upstairs. Knebel deals, and that one is popped up. The high fastball got him. Hernan Perez makes the catch for the out. 2 gone in the inning. That's just great pitching by Knebel.
Yeah, well, that's where you want to put that fastball, not down. That's the one that Molina hit in the right field. Up here, good luck to you. That's just a good piece of hitting by Martinez just to get a bat on that at that velocity.
Throwing it where he wants it. It's been the difference for Knebel this season. Cardinals down to their last out. Steven Piscotty coming up. Curveball, strike. Lands the plane for strike 1. Another one misses down and in. Piscotty just back from the DL Tuesday. He's 0 for 3 tonight, or today I should say. A couple of strikeouts. Weaver the tying run, the pinch runner. Fastball fouled away. 1-2 now. Brewers haven't won a home series against the Cardinals since 2012. It's been 13 straight series losses against the Cardinals at Miller Park. Last time the Brewers won a home series against St. Louis was July 16th through the 18th of 2012. That is a long, long time. Try to change those numbers and that history right now. Knebel, an out away from save number 20.
Not quite sure. Another chat.
Yeah, wants to bring Pena out. Brewers on the road tomorrow, starting a series against the Tampa Bay Rays. A contending team in the AL East. Knebel trying to send them to St. Pete with a series win. 1-2. 2 outs, 9th inning. And a fastball high. Piscotty able to lay off.
A good spot for that pitch.
See what he does. 2-2 the count. And a swing and a grounder foul.
He is looking dead red every pitch here. You can land that curveball here.
Up and down, in and out, he's gone. Piscotty hanging tough. 2-2 now. Knebel fires and a curveball just missed. That was a pretty impressive take by Piscotty.
Well, he was looking fastball. He's not going to swing at it regardless. And that's a key. I mean, you throw that for a strike, you've got him. Because he's not going to swing at that.
Full count now. That means the potential tying run, Weaver, will get a head start. There's a lot on this one. The payoff pitch, runner goes, and a swing and a foul tip.
Oh, that's
wow.
that's a good piece right there by Piscotty. He threw the curveball. Piscotty got a piece of it. And it was a good one. It was a strike. Man, he was out in front on it, but he's still alive.
Got to give him credit.
Yeah, you do.
That was impressive. Those last two curveballs normally get outs. Does Knebel go back to it? Let's see. They're on their feet, 40,000 plus. 3-2, runner goes. And ball 4. Missed with a fastball. Piscotty draws the walk. Now the tying run is at second base. The go-ahead run at first.
That best scenario right there for Piscotty. He battled hard. He fouled off a tough curveball. And Corey just missed the outside corner. Now you got a tough customer at the plate. This guy doesn't strike out much. He puts the ball in play.
Greg Garcia.
He's got an RBI today.
Drove in the lone Cardinal run. Two to 1 Brewers. Top of the 9th. 2 on. And a high fastball backs him out of there. Knebel's pitch count getting high right now. Closers start getting into that 20 pitch range. High stress pitches against Piscotty as well. They're all high stress in a situation like this. The 1-0. And a throw down to second base. It hits Weaver. Stays in front of him. 2 balls and no strikes. Pena trying to pick off the pitcher.
Yeah, why not? I mean, not used to being out there. Maybe trying to get a little bit too much of a lead for a base hit. And Arcia giving up his body to keep that baseball in the infield.
Caught him on the arm. His throwing arm. Garcia is ahead of the count. This crowd is quiet, anxious. 2-0 the count. Garcia late fouls it back. It's the ultimate weapon when you have velocity like that and you get in a hitter's count and can still get it by a hitter.
Man, it's got to be a little tough to see right now for these guys. I mean, you got Corey Knebel in the shade. The home plate area is in the sunshine.
Pena wants a fastball. Tying run at second. 2-1 pitch and a swing and a foul tip. 2-2 the count. 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
And Garcia swinging at one off the plate.
And then he turned around quickly and asked the home plate umpire if that would have been a strike. Again, the Cardinals down to their last strike. Knebel trying to put it away. Here it comes. In the air, foul and out of play. High entertainment value here in this homestand.
Yeah, right.
Every game.
I mean, every pitch is important, as close as these games have been. Pitching staff has not been able to kind of catch their breath with a lead at all. Any sizable lead anyway.
One game in this homestand was decided by 2 runs. Every other game at this point, 1 run. And it's a 2-1 game right now. 2-2 the count. Tying run at second. Go ahead run at first. Knebel deals. And a fastball missed. Garcia didn't bite. 3-2 the count. Both runners will start with the pitch. Full count. There they go. And a swing and a foul. Garcia's hanging tough. He has not shown he can turn on the fastball.
Well, he's not trying to. He's just trying to protect the plate at this point. Just wants to put it in play. Brewers outfield pretty shallow. I mean, look at Perez out there. He's very shallow. Brinson shallow in center.
The punch swings by Garcia. Another 3-2. Runners go, and a curveball called. Strike 3. Ball game is over. Corey Knebel goes to the Uncle Charles. And he strikes out Garcia. And the Brewers beat the Cardinals 2-1. What a finish.
I'm telling you, Corey Knebel has got guts. I will tell you that. I mean, that would have been a disaster had he walked Garcia. And he made the pitch when he needed it. I'll tell you, this pitching staff, hats off to every one of them. The starters, the bullpen, outstanding work to win this series against St. Louis. The Brewers had 3 2-1 games in this homestand, and they won 2 of them. It was a great series.
Shaking hands. Corey Knebel saved number 20. Keon Broxton with a home run saving catch. And the decisive RBI, which came on a 2-out hit in the 5th inning. Time for Brewers Live. We check in with Craig Deshawn standing by. Craig?
What an entertaining homestand for sure. We're going to hear from Craig Counsell, the winning Brew Crew. They finally get a series from the Cardinals here at Milwaukee.